Westside BBC. I takes a look at myself, I likes what I'm seeing. I'm far from conceited, just a fly human being. I dress, talk, and smell as if I want the world. Learn to steal and that's real once it attracts the girls. My sunshine, spend time, margarita, twisted with lime. Half baked in these DC streets, and if you can't stand the heat, ain't got to tell you about the kitchen. Sin City living, how you twigging and itching. Stealing for a living, cause the city, the fragrance is a hell of a stench. The city raised the Grinch, taught him how to steal, land both sides of the fence. Gave him a gun and told the rabbit to have fun, not just counties, boundaries, mountains, time zones, 41 states, cripped in, 15 cripped in, and look at me mama, I'm still dipping, rest till I die, nigga try me, fuck a IV, they got 48 hours to find me, burn the whole crime scene, and all they know is he smoke good greens, and live by all means, with the heart of the whole team, you think it's easy to flip from sugar to shit, smoke up the scene and burn rubber and weed with it, designed for the 3 energy in it, east side, you see the west LV, represent explicit, and if y'all think I came to talk pimp shit, bitch, you got me twisted. It's 3-A-N-G-S-T-A period, and I just look like this. I tell them I just look like this. And Lord knows I ain't never been a punk about shit. I live the G-code where most of y'all niggas just talked it. Kicked in doors and pimped hoes, where the G's at, cause this ain't the Lansing Street. Please believe that. Cause fucking with me, you get P shit, G shit, West Side 3 shit on 1P, bitch. My rock and roll lock and load, and ain't no bluffing. When them niggas talking loud and ain't saying nothing. But I kick the type of shit that can break a bitch. Like a thief, anything I want, I'm taking it. Out of control, rock and skate with it. Left side, and Lord know I ain't no faking it. I took my game from the streets and jump states with it. Game remain the same. Although the name changed, cause they face strange. And if I got the gang bang, I burn rubber and weed and lead this bitch right now, man. From blue rags to tracks with hoes that attract tricks and jack dick, that's how it crack, bitch. Think it's a game, it's a fact, bitch. Fucking with Tone P, I'll get your bitch ass blasted up.
Wanna see my cars on flatbed. Hey, this is a recession, selling that crack, yeah. Niggas selling super sour and bionic glue, and got Superman powers when I'm stressed new. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. John Dillinger shit. Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga from the project. John Dillinger shit. Niggas in the hood wanna see my cars on flatbed. Hey, this is a recession, selling that crack, yeah. Niggas selling super sour and bionic glue, and got Superman powers when I'm stressed new. New Corvette looking like a transformer. No seatbelt screaming on my damn lawyer. Damn, I'm knee deep in the projects, and Hollywood ain't accepting no nigga.
Greetings. Thank you, Black family, for tuning in. This is another episode of the Front Line Blacc News, Season 2, Episode 47 of the Front Line Blacc News. And I'm your host, Chan Krumah. And I'm joined with my other hosts and executive producers and uh, uh, correspondents, Lady Che and Shabaka Sankori of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, of which I am the co-executive. And tonight's show, we will be discussing several things that we didn't get to last week, Black family. I have tragic news, Black family. My grandfather, who I've got to know for the past 23 years, just passed away at age 77. So that's really put a damper on things. So rest in power to my grandpa, George Paris. He was 77 years old. He was a Navy, Navy vet. And he served in Vietnam. So peace, love, and reparations, rest in power to him. I'm still in a grieving process, if y'all couldn't tell. So the first thing that we're going to be discussing tonight is Tangibles 2023, all the way to Tangibles 2024, because that's when the next presidential election is. We're going to get to, we didn't get to last time, the rally for El Paso County Blacc Rancher, the Mallories, who are victims of racism, white supremacy, scare tactics. There was a rally in Denver about a week and a half ago at the state capitol for the C.A.R.E.N Act, C-A-R-E-N Act, to get passed. Also, we will be discussing the Colorado State Senate Bill 2101, Candidate Ballot Access for primary elections, gets voted down 4-1. I spoke against it getting passed. We're going to give y'all an update on this it's insightful mayor's race here in Denver. It is getting real interesting, y'all. So we got an update on that. And of course, we didn't get to our unhoused neighbor news, which is my turn, by the way, and our unhoused neighbor sweeps. So we're going to definitely give y'all an update on that before the end of the night. So, oh crap, I don't have it pulled up. Okay, while I'm pulling this up, introduce yourselves, Lady Che and Shabaka Sankori, please.
I don't think I need to introduce myself, cuz they pretty much know who I am, right? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Pretty much know who I am. Everybody knows who I am, Jesse. All right, Shabaka.
All right, go ahead, Shabaka.
Okay. I'm Shabaka Sankori, the co-executive producer of the podcast Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Please cash app us at $ Shabaka Sankori. And also, too, I just want to say, because I've been getting hit with a lot of you cash app scam artists, okay? And I'm just putting it out there. Please miss me with that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But you can still cash app or, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Also, too, we are in a process of developing a YouTube channel for Front Line Blacc News, Revolutionary Agenda, Shabaka's Black Experience. It'll be all inclusive right there. So we finally cracked the code on that, And then also, too, I want to crumb bomb on a little bit on social media. And as you know, is that Zuckerberg is about to lay off thousands of people at Facebook, although his lying ass said that he wasn't going to do it. And I think what it is that due to this economical shift, it's starting to hit them a little bit. And then keep in mind that assholes like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they're having too much power. Google itself is going through some bullshit where they, if you got to change your password, you got to wait 2 days now to quote unquote to verify to make sure it's you. And also too, as far as the Ukraine is concerned, fuck the Ukraine, fuck Russia, fuck Joe Biden and all you Biden supporters. We're still waiting for you to call in, is because that shit ain't got nothing to do with us on a collective basis, only for us to be exploited more so on a collective basis.
Yeah, and what's going on with the Africans that they had in there that they put in internment camps? What's going on with that?
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Exactly.
All right,
and so once again, folks. Okay, say that again.
Can you see tangibles 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna get it started. Thank you for your intro, Shabaki.
Yes, sir.
This is the year and a decade of tangibles, Black family. We are demanding something tangible for our vote. So any politician that's seeking your vote demands something tangible for your vote, including myself, because I officially filed to run for mayor of Denver, Colorado. The election is April 4th. Unfortunately, we didn't make the ballot, so you have to write in a new B1 agenda. And regardless, we're still running, and even including us. Any politician that's seeking your vote demands something tangible for your vote. The days are over of us just voting just to be voting. The days are over of y'all fear-mongering us into voting. The only reason why we're going to vote is because we have an agenda and a cause. And that agenda is the Black agenda. And that cause is reparations.
Exactly.
$100 trillion.
Yes, sir.
Past, present, and future atrocities this United States government, this corporation continues to put us through. So I'm going to give our refresher course on Tangibles 2020. Since we're heading into next year, 2024, this is when the next presidential election is coming up. So we're going to change 2020 to 23, 24, and that's about it. It still remains the same tangibles, no matter what year it is, all the way up to 2100. So back in 2020, Tariq Nasheed came out with the hashtag Tangibles 2020, and in it, he was talking about the presidential elections that were taking place that very year and what Foundation of Black Americans are going to do and we're going to do and continue to do in 2023. So the 2024 presidential elections are coming up, and Foundation of Black Americans are going to reject the 50-year-old malign neglect policy that has been implemented by the political system. This malign neglect policy mandates that Black Americans should be ignored and only mentioned in vague and non-specific terms, lumping Foundation of Black Americans into groups with minorities, immigrants, people of color, etc., has only hindered the progress of Black Americans as a group while providing tangible benefits for other groups. In this election cycle, Americans are going to insist that our needs are specifically met by politicians who are seeking our vote. Foundation of Black Americans tangible benefits specifically for us. We do not want trickle down secondary benefits that are provided for every group. Every group has not been systematically marginalized and disenfranchised in every area of society as Foundation of Black Americans. So we refuse to be lumped in with groups who often assist in the exploitation and disenfranchisement of Black Americans. So politicians must offer tangibles, specifically the Foundation of Black Americans, or we simply will not vote for them. Be sure to spread this message far and wide on social media using the hashtag Tangibles2020. And now that we're in the year of 2023, it's Tangibles 2023. And next year, it'll be Tangibles 2024. So what are your thoughts?
Okay, yeah, most definitely. And then also, too, we want to focus on doing for ourselves. And then what we're going to be doing as we develop our YouTube channel for Front Line Blacc News and Shabaka's Black Experiences, is that we're getting ready to crumble on all this illusion of inclusion bullshit. Okay, and the reason why it is bullshit is because what it is, once again, they want us to sit up there, allow ourselves to be exploited. You see what I'm saying? Scratch our ass, say y'all the boss and all this. And I got 2 words to say to the governor of Florida, Rick DeSantis, is fuck you. You want to take our history up out of your curriculum? Great, fine, beautiful. We will definitely do our history here at Frontline Blacc News and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. And then also, too, the dumpster, the orange dude said he's running for re-election. Biden had allegedly said that he's going to run for re-election. And the sad part about it is you damn Democrats. Trump is going to beat you all. You know it. We know it. The dumpster knows it, and that's why he's coming back. White supremacy is coming up at an all-time high. And once again, folks, it's time for us to defend ourselves. Also, too, want to give a shout out there to the new Black Panther Party, for defending themselves, and also, too, to get some weapons training for us as well, too, because of what went down there in South Carolina, where this man was murdered in a county jail detention facility, and the powers that be down there don't want to give his family no type of information or even a damn badge number of the race soldier that took him in their custody, you see. So once again, this is just going to show you that this illusion of inclusion is just that, a damn illusion. Then also, too, from Polk County, Florida. Shabaka. Yes, sir.
Can you mute your TV?
Oh, okay. Hold on. They're getting background noise. Okay. Okay, hold on. We're just going to just turn him off. Okay. What about now?
Much better.
Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. And so, and what it is that, they're making themselves quite clear on how they honestly feel. Okay. And I don't have a problem with it. But here's where I got the problem with it. Is where a lot of our folk sit up there and says that this does not exist. Okay. See, that's the problem right there. Where a lot of our folks say that this here does not exist. You see what I'm saying? And they are leading us down the toilet. And what they're trying to do is to get us, to be like the 3 blind mice and to follow this shit straight off a cliff. You see? So, something has got to be done about that. So we are reaching out to all major black media, you know what I'm saying? Is that we got to have some cohesiveness on this, is because if we don't, folks, I hate to say, we will only have our own selves to blame for it. Because we got the knowledge, we got the technology, we got mechanisms that we could use for ourselves. But what it is, though, is that we got to get rid of this syndrome that we've been subjugated to, or that I call it the Tim Scott syndrome, Herschel Walker syndrome, you know what I'm saying? And we got to turn our backs on it. And then keep in mind, we still waiting for you Biden supporters. And the number to call in is 516-418-5996. Now, with you not calling, supports our premise even further, okay? We're not going to sit up there and disrespect you or crumb bum on you. You just straight got bullshit. You know what I mean? Straight up. And, and that's with the whole Democrat Party. They say they don't do shit for us. They have. They say they've been selling us this bullshit for the last 60 years. And I've learned, I could recall 50 years. See?
Right.
And then even
that's
Dr.
what
King
we're
himself.
With the tangibles.
Yes, sir. That's it. Most definitely. You know what
Well,
I'm
I vote they're
saying?
going to
Most
do something
definitely.
tangible. Now, symbolic
Yes, sir.
gestures, tangible benefits,
Yes, sir.
specifically for us. You get benefits. Y'all give this money to Ukraine, all this money to Israel, give them all this money to
Yeah,
foreign countries, but take care of us.
yeah,
You're listening to this thing.
yeah. And then also too, with going across the net, and I hate to say that this generation, and I mean those from 25 to 40, you were the ones who were born. Let me see here, the 1998, down to 1983. Okay, you guys were born at the heart,
No,
the drug
no,
infested area.
82,
Yeah.
82, 82 to
It,
6, or something like that.
okay.
82 to
Right.
2005. Like that.
Okay. And I think it was at the height of the crack
And the nation
epidemic.
after
Yeah. And that was at the height, of the drug epidemic that you had in all the inner cities. And this is the time of the gangster rap era that came out. And then, now that those brothers themselves up there in their 50s and what have you, I'm not mentioning no names, but a lot of them have regretted, writing those lyrics and what have you. And then even Dionne Warwick, well-established recording artist worldwide, she's been in the business over 60 years. And she invited some of these rappers, to her mansion, I believe up in the Hollywood Hills. And she had dared them to call her the B word. And she pretty much had told them that what you all is doing is destructive. And as you and I have discussed, Brother Paris, on many of occasions, of what Dr. Francis Square Wellspring had said way back in the 1970s, and everything that the good doctor has predicted, we hate to say, it came to pass. That we will be programmed on self-destruction, thinking it's cool, and we will not even know that we are a victim of
we
it.
lost you.
Okay, you got me?
Signal in and out.
Okay, fading in and out. Okay.
The signal's going. Lady Chamber studio.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's not. It's the internet. Reset it, so they might have to hold down while I reset.
I can't run it from this side. I don't have the link on that end to run it. Actually, I can. I can't run it on this side while you reset.
So the next topic is.
Actually, can I get my version of tangibles?
Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, I didn't get to do tangibles yet. Anyway, tangibles. Basically, this is the year and the decade of nothing's supposed to feel good. Nothing, especially in politics, is supposed to feel good. You're supposed to feel adequately and comfortable. This comfort politics that everyone is doing is or everybody's accepting, even in the city, is ridiculous. You basically say you want change, but you're gonna choose the same old shit. And that's 4 more years of the same bullshit. Different person, doesn't even matter. Probably even be under the same regiment of people that have been in politics for the last 15, 20 years. Okay? Nothing new, nothing different. When you do have a chance to do something different, choose not to because it's not comfortable, right? But you want tangible change, drastic change, right? So, here at Team Paris and on this campaign, we offer tangibles. Been offering tangibles, been talking about tangibles, maneuvering with tangibles, offering tangibles, acting behaving with intent on tangibles for as long as I can remember, and at least for the last 2 years, with all our programs. So it's nothing new. It's new for you, not new for us. So that being said, you gotta come out your comfort zone, family. You gotta get uncomfortable, or else nothing's gonna change. Shabaka, are you still with me? Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm gonna run the show while Jesse comes back in.
Oh,
where you at?
All right,
brother. Where you at, brother Shabaka?
Okay, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Did it snow? I think I overheard Jesse talk about.
It snowed for the last. We had sleet on the ground night before last. The weather's inclement, and it is approaching freezing. You know what I mean?
You okay? You
My
sound sick.
arthritis tells me.
You okay? You sound sick. Sound like you got a little cold.
Okay, no. Oh yeah, I'm fine. That is just getting old. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have no cold. And, and I monitor my temperature on a regular basis, 97.6, 98.2. You see what I mean? So, that's in the health range right there. Okay. And then I prop myself up in the bed here a little bit because I was watching TV, but Brother Paris and we were getting some feedback on it.
Yeah, you just hear a little bit. You hear a little bit about it, a little whatever you're watching. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
We can hear a little bit.
Yeah, but anyway, though, you got to keep the tangibles narrative going on. And then this illusion of inclusion, we're going to start to shit on it.
We only got one more month we only got like one more month of this campaign. It's got the heavy end. And it's really disappointing. You think about it, all the work that we put in for our people, and only for them to just in one ear out the other and look at this other shit. So it's kind of shitty in a way, but hey, they'll learn eventually. Everybody learns eventually.
Oh yeah, no. What's gonna happen is, Lady Che, is that when the people get bit in the ass, you know what I'm saying? Okay, then they're gonna really wish that they would have elected Jesse Paris. You see what I mean? Now, wait a minute. Now, somebody's right here. Actually, black power and white power can coexist. We want the same thing, self-determination, and not shit to do with one another. Well, first place, ever who this individual is, actually is black power that matters, is because due to your white power has caused our people to be in a position that we're in from ever since the days that we were brought here. So this individual may go fuck himself, okay?
Oh, damn.
Straight out. Yeah, no. But I appreciate his honesty. Hold on. I appreciate his honesty. You see what I'm saying? He's coming straight out. And I think this is a male that we're dealing with. Okay, so therefore, white boy, you got your gun. I got mine. I'm not coming to you with my hands on my knees talking about we got a dream. I'm going to be your worst goddamn nightmare.
Shabaka, we know this person.
Yeah.
We
know
this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all right. We just didn't agree with the with the comment. That's all. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Don't worry about it. No biggie. We have an unapologetic show. Yeah. See. Yeah, it's okay. Right. We have an unapologetic black show going on over here. No biggie. Go ahead, Chewbacca. Carry on.
Right. Okay, and he says that I am a black man and black power by all means. Okay, absolutely. Okay, so therefore the reason we have to do this is because see what's happening in this day and time, with all these chemical spills and with all these drones in the air.
Be right back.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother Chewbacca.
Yeah. satellite balloons and then spy apparatus that just washed up on the shore of Japan. They don't know what it is. Hiding Biden going over there to Ukraine with his senile ass talking about they're going to give them food and they're going to give them all of this, going to give them all that. You mean to tell me that they don't have the damn check of $100 trillion in tangibles and not a dime less, you see? And if they can go over there with all that bullshit over there, you see what I'm saying? Then surely they could break us up. Hey, fuck Putin, fuck Zelensky, fuck Biden, fuck Xi Jinping, over there in China, because Russia, China, and I'm sure the Ukraine too, just like how France had, like England had, like Portugal has, like Spain had, just went down there to our continent and extrapolated all the raw materials of why they became the military industrialist powers that they are today. But you got Han Coons, you got Erica Adams, you got Karen Bass, you got let me see, other sellout assholes in California. You see what I'm saying? And this syndrome must be broke. You see what I'm saying? The syndrome must be broke because we've been subjugated ourselves to that syndrome for the last 400 years. See, that's what happens to be broke. But why do you think that they are putting so much emphasis on to kill Black history in the schools? You see what I'm saying? Because they want us to sit there and to forget. And there's nobody in the world's history, nobody in the galaxy has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral consciousness of their oppressor. Right. And those are not my words. That's the Queen Mother's words. And we all know who she is. We don't have to mention her name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Tupac's auntie. There you go. You see what I mean? And,
okay,
and I mean, this is a universal law. Yes, sir.
So Martha, where did y'all leave off?
I just had to end out tangibles. So now we're waiting for you on the next topic.
Okay. So we brought you this first out of Denver about the Mallory situation in El Paso County, which is directly south of us. It's the county that encompasses Colorado Springs. They're being terrorized by these white supremacists or suspected white supremacist suspects in the county for being the only Black family that owns a farm in the area. So they've been having some weird occurrences happening on their property, dead animals, poisoned animals. Actually, a person was found dead on the property. And the white-owned media is being real hush-hush about it or not calling it what it is, which is an act of white supremacist terrorism.
Shout out to Bart.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Shout out to Bart. Go ahead.
Okay, he says, if you seek to offend your enemy, you will never reach a resolution, only war. Well, sir, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Okay, you need to read Dr. Newton's Revolutionary Suicide. Okay, because that's what it is. If you cannot see your ally, you lose your ability to fight. You're a lone wolf. Well, sometimes, man, that's what it has to be, unless that you have a downright sit-down, serious conversation, man, to see who allies are. After all, look at William O. Flanagan. You know who William O. Flanagan is, don't you, Check?
That name sounds familiar.
I'm going to tell you the story. He's the one that sold out C.A.R.E.N Act. He's the one that he got put under the thumb of J. Edgar Hoover, okay, because they was going to hit him with a case to do about 5 years. It's a case of extortion. So what had happened was the night before Chairman Fred was murdered, there was a meeting, and Flanagan was there, and he had put Seconal, or what they commonly used to refer to in the late 60s as Red Devils, in Chairman Fred's coffee. Of course, he consumed the coffee, and then he went into a deep sleep. And then at was the pre-dawn raid where the FBI and the Chicago police went there and murdered Mr. Hampton and shot him in the back. Okay, now this person said,
I'm sorry you feel that way,
that attack has made me say I'm not interested in this podcast. It's vulgar, unprofessional, and confrontational to everyone. Laughing out loud, dumb shit. Well, sir, you may just go ahead and dismiss yourself. I'm not going to argue with you, man.
I will say this. We run an unapologetic platform. This is what we do. This is how we are. Thank you for watching. Sorry that you couldn't, you're not vibing with it, but this is just who we are, what we do regularly. This is our vibe. Normally, whether it be here or on Blog Talk or on my program, this is how we talk. This is how we talk. Now, thank you. You don't need it. We understand. Thank you.
All right, and don't come back. And don't come back. And we appreciate your insult. No one is interacting. Yeah, right. Okay. So keep it moving, cat. Because I'm not biting my tongue. Particularly when I try to make peace with you and try to apologize if I offended you, and you come back with that. Keep it moving.
Carry on.
Straight out.
You're telling us about Fred Hampton?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, so what had happened was that Fred Hampton was only 21 years old, okay, and he was the chairman of the Illinois Party chapter, okay, and then William Flanagan, okay, who was an informant for the FBI, and they was putting a case on him where he was facing like 5 years. So they gave him the mission to put Seconal into Fred Hampton's coffee the night before he went to sleep. And Fred Hampton was shot and killed and murdered in his bed. Yeah.
That's how it was done.
And then the sad part about it is that Fred Hampton Jr.'s mother was in the same bed with Fred, and she was carrying Fred Jr. at that time.
So they could have easily shot her too.
Exactly.
I heard they shot him.
Exactly.
They shot him, and then when they realized he wasn't dead, they shot him again.
Yes, sir. And then also too, the other brother who was shot with him too, by the name of Mark Clark. And I do recall, now I'm going from memory now, is that they made a documentary film entitled "The Murder of Fred Hampton." And I think this was made about 71, 72.
All right, so I'm gonna move us to our next topic, which is the Mallories, and I was explaining what was going on in that case. So this is from Rob from Black Light Revelation. Shout out to the brother.
Rob.
He calls me bro. Shout out to him. This is the video of the Mallory family being arrested, or the husband being arrested, Courtney, down in El Paso County.
Blatant racism by community members. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is failure to respond.
A lot of their pets have been poisoned, killed. Some get the livestock have been poisoned, killed.
Dr. Vern L. Howard is teaming up with Portia Prescott and Rashad Younger from the NAACP to help the Mallorys.
Basically, the Mallorys have been harassed on their property and on their land.
At that point, it became very clear that they weren't necessarily safe. Animals poisoned and killed, a couple feeling harassed and terrorized.
Now remember, these are the people that have put you in jail, make you pay $12,000 fine for killing a damn dog. But you see, they're just slaughtering these people, animals as if they're nothing. The
hypocrisy is real.
Very people that get $100. You know what I'm saying? So the thing again, remember what I said is the kryptonite when it comes to nonsense. For one, is standing up to it. The second set of kryptonite is exposure. The contradictions have to be caught, exposed, and exposed on repeat, and an archive kept of all the exposures, because that's what really makes people upset. So you know that they're upset, or you know that you got them in a corner when they're not saying anything about something. So when there's something that they're not saying anything about, that's when it's time for you to be loud about it and put it on repeat, because that's what they do. You see, like, fight fire with fire. You can't go to a sword fight with a feather. That's not gonna work. That does, and I don't know if you haven't noticed or not, but we've been taking feathers to sword fights. I don't know who you plan on tickling to death when somebody got a sword and they're swinging at you, but unless you are superior at some insane form of martial arts that I've never heard of in my life, I'm betting that that's probably not going to be the best method to go about things in. You know what I'm saying? Just a hunch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a rocket scientist or anything, but that's just a hunch.
Huge claims that we'll break down. But first, how do we go from the Mallorys being seen as victims to the ones in handcuffs? The El Paso County Sheriff's Office investigated and decided it was the Mallorys who were felony stalking their neighbor. We got our hands on the arrest affidavit. It focuses on multiple complaints.
So now you see how the Mallorys, the ones that got the dead animals and all of this. So basically what it is the situation, it seems like to me, is that there's all this stuff going on with the Mallorys, right? The community is doing all this abuse to the Mallorys. When the Mallorys complain about it, it's being purposely ignored or pushed to the side. When the Mallorys retaliate or they attempt to confront the people about what happened, then the police take those confrontations and utilize that as a complaint for menacing or a complaint for trespassing, or they just overblow it when the confrontation happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stalking their neighbor. We got our hands on the arrest affidavit. It focuses on multiple complaints from the Mallorys' next door neighbor. It's clear there's years of animosity on both sides of this easement road. And it's
shout out to Carla for answering the Nightbot.
Center stage for many of their interactions. Like C.W. and Nicole walking between the properties with their hands up, yelling, "Hands up, don't shoot." The affidavit mentioned a 19-page log that the neighbor maintained with supporting video and photos of each interaction she considered to be stalking. But when it came time for the investigation, it wasn't her cameras pointed at them, but the Mallorys' cameras pointed toward her property that deputies confiscated. With the affidavit in hand, we went to the Mallorys' ranch.
So now, as you guys can see, the deputies confiscated the Mallorys' cameras. Why would they do that?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's a co-conspirator.
Think about that. I want y'all to sit back and think about that. Give me some suggestions or give me some answers in the comment section. Why would they compensate the Mallorys' cameras? Does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't make all the sense. It's because what they're doing is they don't want them to have no documentation of how they're being terrorized.
Hold on, Shabaka, you gotta
think about that.
Get to the video.
It was a windy day, so we met inside our news car. After talking for nearly an hour, the Mallorys finally agreed to do their first sit-down interview with me.
You remove the only support that I have and the only other eyes I have to try to catch what's going on around me.
CW said the sheriff's office is using video caught on the neighbor's security cameras against him. His cameras were removed. I asked him why he'd walk by their neighbor's home with hands in the air.
My cows were
shout out to Dub for answering the Nightbot.
Down there, got our cows, and we pushed them back the way they came out. And as I said, we need to put our hands up and say, please don't shoot us. We're just getting our cows. Please don't shoot. We're just getting our cows.
Let's be clear. I just want to revisit that. Me putting my hands up.
And that's what I'm saying, Val. That's what I'm saying about that system that we're operating under two different systems of ethics. And one thing that we have to understand is that the majority of the rest of the world is not operating under the same kind of ethics system that we are. So people need to adjust to that. And if people feel like they're holier than thou or see some justifiable reason to not adjust to that, don't question what you see, because the world is correct. The world will always be the sum of the function of the inputs and outputs in the equation that is the system of everything. It's going to always be that until the end of reality. You don't like what you see, change the inputs to possibly get a different output. Very simple.
Us putting our hands up, and is a safety. As an African American,
It's been said a lot that this is a land dispute between neighbors. That's what it boils down to. And that you all or your neighbor could choose to avoid each other because you have so much land. What is your response to that?
let me be clear about something. I do not have a neighbor dispute. My dispute is with El Paso County Sheriff's Department for enabling this behavior.
Nicole says one deputy in particular, who she's filed multiple complaints against, is leading the charge
in what I believe is a modern day KKK assault against my family.
That's not a small accusation to make. But Nicole says Facebook comments and a community page turned to blatant racism after the sheriff's office got involved. Comments like, I was amazed at how much property was tagged Black Lives Matter. Didn't expect that kind of in-your-face crap way out here.
Crazy.
So
Okay.
people should
There's
understand
more. I'm trying to get to the part about the
expectation is
relic.
for you to submit to the dominant society that your life is meaningless and it's worthless. And you should just cop to the fact that their lives are the valuable ones and your life is expendable, which is the reason why Margaret Sanger said, coat hanger your babies. And people are still buying that to this day.
Wow. Sanger coat hanger, huh?
Now, let me ask you a question. In this little Bodoc area, this little rural area where these people live, let me ask you a question. How many Confederate flags do you think are up?
Oh, shit.
In that part of the country, I'm going to say quite a bit.
Black Lives Matter sign. What is, does that say, like, is that oppressive somehow to white people? Is that harmful rhetoric to white people? I don't understand.
What, Black Lives Matter?
At some point when black people had racial superiority and dominance over white people and oppressed them in a system of black supremacy where white people were redlined and not allowed in certain stores and neighborhoods and slaves for a couple hundred years. Is that what the Black Lives Matter sign symbolizes to white people? So it triggers some kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome from some made-up digital fake Oculus?
No.
That shit is crazy.
No, with the Black Lives Matter, with the Black Lives Matter sign signifies just that Black Lives Matter. And what it is that the oppressor,
I don't care.
Is that the oppressor does not like those that they are oppressing to uprise. You see, that's all what that is.
Confederate flags on the bumper stickers. Sometimes they have them on the license plate. I don't care. As long as you out of my face and you ain't messing with me, whatever. Go ahead and burn a cross somewhere. Just don't leave it in my front yard because you might end up, you know what I'm saying, on the ground somewhere.
Well, in response to that statement there,
why should
that's what they meant way back in 1976, right? In 1966, when they says we want an immediate end to police brutality and the murder of black people.
Why should nobody be allowed to express the value of their own life?
Well, that's because
somebody
the slave was never viewed as human. He was always supposed to be viewed as property. And then the slave was never supposed to think of himself as a man or as a woman. He was just supposed to always think of himself as being property.
But the court sided with the person who was protecting their Confederate flag. And the reason why that happened is because the person came onto their property and tried to remove it. If this is on her property, they're allowed to have it. And it's not harassing, it's not menacing, it's not. The Black Lives Matter has never been Black Lives Matter only, yours don't. It's never been that.
Well, Black Lives Matter is dealing with every other thing except the lives of Black men.
To the point to where it's diluted, to the point where it doesn't even represent what it started out to be. But it's never been that, though. The narrative was never Black Lives Matter only.
Well, in regard to that, I'll say it here. I've said it on social media. I said it on a Tweety Bird. I said it on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. It's up to us to take care of us.
On and matter only.
You other groups have to go hold your own nuts. That's all what it means. You other groups have to go hold your own nuts. You know, your slaves are no longer your slaves. The days of boss we sick is over.
It's very telling when other people have some kind of self-pride about themselves. If you have any kind of pride about yourself, these people see it as some kind of imminent threat to their sovereignty. And that's problematic because everybody has the right to live and everybody has the right to their own destiny. These people feel that they should have the right to their own destiny and these people should have the right to live. But at the same time, they should control your right to live and control your destiny. That's not how it
is. This individual live or is this just the tape?
No, it's a replay.
It's a replay from earlier.
Oh, okay.
Let's all
I thought I was talking to him for a minute.
And
he kind of leaves it like that. So when you go over it, you can answer the question, you know, as he's doing it. I mean, his replays are awesome. He's been doing it for a long time. That's our friend.
Now, see, I wish that if somebody had posted something like that about me, I'm not going to get all scared and go run into the police. I'm going to say, has anybody ever calculated the volume of a human body and how many hollow tips can fit inside of it? Because I don't give a shit about your pitchfork, and the fire stick you talk about better be some shit you stick into your TV so you can watch something and sit your ass down somewhere before I have to sit you down. And see, that's the kind of mentality people need to start taking. It's clear that law enforcement isn't going to back you up when this is the ongoing thing.
Okay. Now, in that regard, right there,
where is
that they're not
on Facebook with some people associated with these people in a community making threats against these people's neighbors? Is there any? Probably not, because I'm sure the sheriff and all the people in the community would have had them and had screenshots already. But they don't. This is an intimidation tactic.
He's right. That's exactly what it is. They're being intimidated.
This is the same tactic that's used in all of those massacres that Torian has been talking about in that massacre city or in that massacre series. This is nothing more than bullying, and probably the reason why they want to bully these people is because they want to push them off of this farmland so they can divvy it up amongst themselves and either use it for their own purposes or sell it and get the proceeds. Because these kind of bullying tactics for resources have been happening and are still happening today.
How far, much farther does it go, Jesse?
I'm trying to get to the rally part.
You know, I really expected more out of them to be filming it. You know what I mean?
What's going on here is that the Mallorys are being silenced and they're running a propaganda machine. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, that release happened right before this newscast began. So Micah is now combing through those new records, and she will bring you an in-depth update tomorrow on Denver 7.
And this story is so important because the number of Black farmers across America has declined greatly over the past century.
So now let's ask the question about that. Why is it that the number of Black farmers has decreased greatly over the last century? Why has that happened? And let me ask you guys a question. Is that something systematic? Is that something that's being perpetuated and jump-started by the United States government with the assistance of the population at large? Or is it because we're just stupid and we can't manage anything? I don't think
I think more so the former than the latter.
If you listen to some people who are supposed to be leaders, that's what they'll get in front of a camera and say. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that that's the case. I think that it's because it's a joint effort of predatory policy created by the United States and supported by the population at large. I don't think it has anything to do with, you know, people's intelligence.
Well, I think it's all part of the American ethos when it comes into regard of us as people.
Different than a lot of other YouTubers, and anybody that's been watching my channel for a long time can tell you that I always say don't.
I'll be right back.
Negative traits that people have, or the common problem that you see. Don't say, "Oh, you know, well, we Black people do this." Don't do that. If there's a negative trait that happens, we need to just talk about it as if it's a negative trait and figure out a way to deal with it effectively. One thing that I can't stand, and one of the reasons why I make my own content, is because I can't stand listening to people that I'm smarter than sit there and try to tell me that they know that I'm stupid or I'm not capable of thinking because they think they have some supreme knowledge of me because they're Black too. Now, you understand yourself and your own shortcomings.
No, that's right.
You're projecting that onto everybody else. And I honestly don't think that people appreciate that. I actually think that people are tired of that shit.
Yep.
I'm tired of listening to people like Roland Martin say that Black people don't know how to vote. I'm tired of listening to people say Black people don't read.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with him on that one. Yeah, because I'm sick of that bullshit myself.
If you're tired of hearing yourself be talked about like that by the very people that's supposed to be representing you in the most positive way, stop listening to that bullshit.
Right. Facts. Now that is resurrection of the mental dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You empower people by giving them tools to improve their situation, not telling them you're not capable of something because of X, Y, and Z. We're capable of doing all kinds of stuff. We built this country. What the hell are you talking about? We ain't capable. Are you serious? We built the greatest, most powerful nation in the entire world. You going to sit there and tell me that I'm not capable of something? Well, you must not be cut from the same cloth as I am then.
That's right, Rob. You let them know.
Let's break down the numbers for you. Researchers at UMass Boston looked at data from the USDA Census of Agriculture. They found that Black farmers lost $326 billion worth of acreage in the 20th century. Currently, Black farmers own less than 1% of all farmland. Colorado was home to a historic Black farming settlement in the early 1900s. Deerfield in Weld County is now a ghost town, but it was once a...
Now, let me ask you a question. Why is Deerfield a ghost town?
They say it's a ghost town because of the Dust Bowl.
Yep.
but being actually going there and being there and knowing that Greeley is like to the north of there, I think that was the white supremacist mobs that ran the black families out of there before the Dust Bowl, because the Dust Bowl was in the 1930s. Deerfield was around from like 1910 to the 1930s, so a good 20, 25 years. So that, I think they got ran out of there by the Klan, either in Kingsburg or Greeley or Fort Morgan, because it's right off of 76. If you take 76 toward Nebraska, you'll run like right.
I've been on highway, I've been on Highway 76, the interstate right there. They run
me and Mile High crew, we went out there and we shot some video out there, and we had that some lady while we were out there drove up on us, wondering what we were doing there. It was a white woman, like a Jewish woman with a black woman in the car that had drove up on us. It was like, what are you guys doing here? It was real weird. But yeah, that's what he's talking about. Like, how did it become a ghost town? Because Deerfield was like 1,000 acres. Now it's only like 200 or less.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it had
1,000 acres.
It had damn near fully paved streets. It was single family homes. Like, it was laid out.
Is it a ghost town because they killed everybody there? Because that's usually what happens a lot of times when there's a big concentration or a black settlement. When they say that it's a ghost town, oh, it's a ghost town for real because all the black people in the area got murked.
Yep.
Like in Torian's Massacre series. So.
Yeah. Or in a place called Taft, California.
What they say, Deerfield?
Farmers own less than 1% of all farmland. Colorado was home to a historically black farming settlement in the early 1900s. Deerfield in Weld County is now a ghost town, but it was once a place to end the cycle of poverty.
They knew that if they could own their own land, own their own homes, they could use that to pass on to their children. They could sell it. They could borrow against it.
Discriminatory lending policies and forced sales are said to be major factors in the loss of land.
What y'all think about that?
Claims of racism and harassment and 2 years of dispute. That's what ranchers in rural El Paso County say they are facing from their neighbors and the sheriff's office.
Today, supporters of CW and Nicole Mallory rallied outside the state capitol. Denver 7's Micah Smith was there as the ranchers fight for safety on their property.
He came from Mississippi and Texas and Pennsylvania and New York to stand with his family.
Blacc Rancher, CW and Nicole Mallory's story.
I'm like, look at all these motherfuckers trying to
what they say
right
is
there.
that the response from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has resonated with many across the country.
Yeah, right there.
And their supporters are rallying here at the Colorado State Capitol.
Not all cops are bad. There are men and women who
What bothers me is, man, when we were talking about this for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden it makes its way over to the cultural center. Everybody want to be over there, act like they're going to do something.
So that we can get to the bottom of it.
You know what I mean?
I can express from the bottom of my heart how much this really means that to see all of you out here. It's not about color, religion, race, gender.
Why would you say that shit? And you're saying it's white supremacy, but in the same breath you come out and say some dumb shit like that. Like that kind of makes me like, I'm kind of glad I didn't go to that protest. What the hell?
Back up a little bit. What do you say?
Right. Well, see, he's cow-tied.
What do you say?
Pun intended. No, he said it has
Well,
nothing.
just back up a little bit so we
Yeah,
can
it has.
I would before you put it on play, just back up like two seconds. But I wanted to say this. That up until it got, we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Up until it got to the cultural center, nobody wanted to give a fuck. And shout out, like I said, shout out to Bart. There was a reason why we I guess we didn't go. You know what I mean, or whatever. But it wouldn't have made not like it would have made much of a difference. Like our brother said, it was everybody's over there clout chasing and doing whatever instead of actually being of service and helpful. You know what I mean? I mean, like look at the motherfucking NAACP,
Mm, they're a joke.
man. Are you no seriously, Jesse? Like she made a whole speech. Prescott. You know what I mean? Are you paying attention, guys? She made a whole speech just recently, like 2 days ago, or fucking like that day of the rally. Are you paying attention, Jesse? Do you want me to run this part?
No. I want you to finish your thoughts so I can continue playing the video.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to dialogue with you guys. On the RVA, okay, well, I'll just carry on. On the RVA, I covered this in depth, and I wanted to show that that she made that, you know, the NAACP all of a sudden, NAACP and a few other people you can see in there, like I'm over counting it out, you know, where they're just showboating and whatnot, and the NAACP made this gigantic ass speech all of a sudden when they usually kind of laid back in the cut and don't really do shit like that as of recently. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden they were just right there, you know. And like I said, shout out to Bart. I'm not gonna stop saying that. Shout out to Bart.
Well, Bark warned us, and I was trying to tell Lady Che, like, we shouldn't really be rallying behind this shit because of what I just played. That
right. And so, like, you know, not to take away from what Jesse's saying, Jesse told me that, like, that Jesse told me, and then I tried to chop it up with Bart and couldn't get through. Brother Randall couldn't get through, or didn't hear back from him. However, I was already on a mission on my own personal time due to watching something on the new Black media, and then I ran it by Jesse, and Jesse had this whole dialogue, but it was like after the fact. It was before the protest, but after the fact. And so I just said, you know, when we if our brother says something, we should follow that. And you know, loyalty is everything with me. So just go off of that. And I'm kind of glad. I'm not glad that we didn't go, but I'm not glad that we did. We did with it. You know what I mean? I think that like how our brother said, it was a lot of motherfucking out chasing and showboating, and that shit was fucked up, and it's not really helpful or conducive, like, you know, we've been talking about. So, you know, not to, you know, pretty much saying the same thing that Jesse was saying earlier, you know.
right. So I'm gonna continue the video.
I think.
You know what I'm saying? You empower people by giving them tools.
Are you gonna, like? Can we dialogue real quick, cuz? Like, hit me in the private messenger. Private chat.
We're capable of doing all kinds of stuff. We built this country. What the hell are you talking about? We ain't capable. Are you serious? We built the greatest, most powerful nation in the entire world. You gonna sit there and tell me that I'm not capable of something? Well, you must not be cut from the same cloth as I am then.
Yeah.
Well, as far as being the greatest nation on earth,
look data from the U.S.
that's open for discussion. You know what I'm saying? But I understand, you know, his reasoning
worth of acreage
to a point.
Currently, black farmers
and what it is that this brother here
is home to a historic
owns this land. You know, man. This is so wrong what they're doing to him.
Town, but it was once a...
Now let me ask you a question. Why is Deerfield a ghost town? Is it a ghost town because they killed everybody there? Because that's usually what happens a lot of times when there's a big concentration or a black settlement, when they
We
said
already
it
went over this, cuz.
ghost town for real because all the black people in the area got murked.
Lizzie,
What?
Like,
we already went over this part.
Series.
You asked me to replay it.
So
I just want to hear what the farmer said. Jesse, that's it. 2 seconds. Can you want me to run the show so you can pay attention to whatever you're doing over there?
1% of all farmland. Colorado was
Put me in charge. I'll do it. Send me whatever we're supposed to talk about.
It's coming up. Just be patient,
Deerfield
guys.
and Weld County.
Stop rushing the show.
But it was one.
Pay attention to the show, Jesse. That's why we're here.
They knew that if they could own their own land, own their own homes, they could use that to pass on to their children. They could sell it. They could borrow against it.
Discriminatory lending policies and forced sales are said to be major factors in the loss of land.
Okay.
about that.
Claims of racism and harassment and 2 years of disputes. That's what 2 ranchers in rural El Paso County say they are facing from their neighbors and the sheriff's office.
Today, supporters of C.W. and Nicole Mallory rallied outside the state capitol. September 7th, Micah Smith was there as the ranchers fight for safety on their property.
He came from Mississippi and Texas and Pennsylvania and New York to stand with his family.
Blacc Rancher C.W. and Nicole Mallory's story of poisoned animals, racist threats, and what they say is a lack of response from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has resonated with many across the country. And their supporters are rallying here at the Colorado State Capitol.
Not all cops are bad. There are men and women who are sworn to serve and what? To do what? To do what? So why haven't they served and protected as a mountain?
Community leaders spoke during the rally, including state lawmakers.
We want to make sure that whatever needs to happen for protection so that we can get to the bottom of it.
I can't express from the bottom of my heart how much this really means that to see all of you out here. It's not about color, religion, race, gender.
Oh,
I'm a
that's what
farmer.
you mean.
I pay more attention to the weather.
That's his mistake right there.
Just want to
Now I understand. I didn't hear that part.
Tyrone Glover talked about his plan.
Yeah, that's his mistake right there. He's not recognizing the fact of why he's being persecuted by this
Let me ask you
individual.
guys a question. All right, so this Deerfield community, and shout out to Carla for answering the night about, but this Deerfield community,
I think he's just playing the.
if it used to be a thriving,
Obviously, they know it's racism,
farming
white supremacy
population,
is playing the part right here.
and now it's a ghost town, and the one black farmer that's in the area is being pushed out. What does that say about the regional culture? What happened?
Bigotry.
Right. Thoughts, Jesse? I mean, like, what do you think?
I mean, that's what it is, flat out.
Why is it a ghost town?
Mm-hmm. I think that from that little statement and that they obviously know it's
Now,
racism,
you
white
gotta be real
supremacy.
careful about this. 'Cause when you
They
look
just
up
playing the
these
part right
articles,
here.
you know, from
It's probably what
the
Jesse was meaning.
white media,
Yes, that's exactly what I was meaning.
I'm sure
I didn't hear it,
more
cuz.
detail. They're
You know what
not really.
I ain't like that. You want me to tap out, cuz? I'll tap out. I ain't like that. I'm trying to get on the same
going
page.
into gory details. So that's some stuff we'll have to find out using our own investigative work.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to make sure that people like Steven Spielberg don't want to try to get a copyright on it and make a movie about it, because Steven Spielberg has no business making movies about stuff like that.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think somebody was already trying to talk to him about that, huh?
Of the discoveries and investigative documents that are available. My firm is awaiting
Look, you think somebody's already trying to talk to them about putting their shit on a movie?
Where they shared body camera video of Nicole Mallory being combative.
Yeah, well, actually, what they need to do, they need to get a contention up there, a detail to guard that brother. You see what I'm saying?
If our brother tapped out,
So
then
this here would be a good time, for those she's talking about protecting us and all this whole type of shit. This is the time to go. There's the case for him right there.
I agree, Mike, and I think that's what Al is alluding to.
Jesse?
If somebody says that they're going to lynch you,
out, then it's already like a red, right?
Black Lives Matter sign,
Go
it's
back up
clearly
there?
a black and white issue. And what we're talking about is
There's
also
more video to
people
play.
of color.
I'm asking you a question though.
What you're doing in the middle of
Like
the
that,
video? Can we let the video play?
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's different any other time, guys.
Because those people of color, that's a grift. That whole people of color concept, that's the same as the whole LGBTQI A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's really disturbing that they didn't address the hate crimes against my family and I, which are the epitome of why we're here today.
So now, see, like, this is where she put herself in a bad situation, because now you're talking about hate crimes. But just a second ago, you just took away the whole hate crime explanation because you said it wasn't a black or white thing. If it's a hate crime, it's a black and white thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why people got to, and then again, what do I always tell y'all? Another issue that we're going to have is, until people like the Mallorys, until people like Tyree Nichols' family, until all of these black people who understand that they're the victim of a white supremacist crime or a white supremacist injustice or a white supremacist issue, until they understand that they're not gonna get anything accomplished going to white supremacist media, this thing is never gonna work. These people have to get it through their thick skull that black media has value. You need to come to us. You need to get in touch with Tori and Rain. You need to get in touch with TD Hip Hop Media. You need to get in touch with Professor Black Truth. You need to get in touch with Harvey. You need to get in touch with Lisa Cabrera. You need to get in touch with somebody and talk to them first, so that then the mainstream media has to utilize our messages as their primary source of information. Because we're going to ask you the questions and let you say the things that you need to say. You're putting yourself in a box and you're jeopardizing your story or your lawsuit dealing with the snitch media first. Oh yeah, Philip Scott. How could I forget about Philip Scott? Yeah, somebody like Philip Scott. We should never have to react to a CNN article about an injustice happening to a black person. CNN and NBC should be reacting to the Africa Diaspora Channel's exclusive interview with the Mallory family. Because you don't have access to them people. We got access to them. We got a monopoly to these people. You can't even touch them. You got to touch our content to even get the story. See, there's this method called lockout, blockout. And everybody plays the lockout, blockout game with us. But we don't play that lockout, blockout game. When you're trying to get the rebound and you playing basketball, what do the coach tell you to do? What did the coach tell you to do? I know we got some athletes or former athletes in here. What do the coach tell you to do if you're trying to get a rebound? What you supposed to do? Block out the opportunity of anybody else opportunizing on these stories. And they have to specifically react to what information we put out. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you may say that sounds harsh.
Where's this going?
That's wrong. You're not really being fair. I'm actually
It's
being
going to
very
this
fair
damn interview
because that's what
if
we
you
deal
just be
with right now.
patient.
Right now we
Yeah,
deal
he's
with
just talking.
You're locked out. You see, I got to react to this video.
But he's just talking. We can't. You know what I mean?
Or boycott.
Wait for him to answer his own question.
That's it, man. Gonna play more of the video.
As the protesters make their way to the Dr. Martin Luther King statue, I asked one man what brought him here.
It's been on a 5-year plan of my wife and I to acquire some acreage. And so when I saw Mallory's plight, this could easily be my family.
Throughout the day,
This is the world we live in.
the Mallorys repeatedly said they no longer feel alone and will continue to fight for safety on their land. C.W. Mallory says they've lost almost 20 animals due to poisoning or theft. There is a GoFundMe that was started for the Mallorys that has raised over $200,000 throughout the rally. The Mallorys were calling on state lawmakers to pass the C.A.R.E.N Act, which stands for Caution Against Racially Exploitative Non-Emergencies. A couple.
I covered this on the show. I read it.
The C.A.R.E.N Act.
It's not even here. Yeah.
That's
I read it. It's not even here in the city.
That's some intermediate level trolling right there.
The couple says this all began with a dispute with their neighbor, and they think the legislation could prevent future situations similar to their own. We know there are multiple sides to this story, and I want you to know I have reached out to the sheriff's office multiple times for a one-on-one interview, but have been told repeatedly he is unavailable. Reporting in studio, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
So she should get one of her white counterparts or one of her Latino counterparts to go.
And the fact that they try to charge her for fucking asking questions and getting paperwork. I covered this on the RVA in depth. I read the C.A.R.E.N Act too. It was a lot of it don't really apply here really too much.
Okay. Well, make sure y'all check that out.
I sent him an invite.
The C.A.R.E.N Act stands for Caution Against Racially Exploitative Non-Emergencies. The name is also a play on the name Karen, which has become synonymous with a person who calls 911 on people of color.
You want me to read
it? What the hell is it?
We need to pass the C.A.R.E.N Act in the state of Colorado. I am personally going to be leading the charge with this legislation, said Portia Prescott, president of the Rocky Mountain NAACP.
Yes.
A bill hasn't been introduced in Colorado yet, but Prescott says she's in contact with a few lawmakers who are considering sponsoring such a bill. San Francisco, New York, and New Jersey have passed their own versions of the C.A.R.E.N Act.
Karen.
She was hollering that at the rally. She was hollering that. That was like the first time I've ever seen her get so prolific.
Oh. All right. So, what are y'all thoughts on this?
All right. Okay. My thought is on that. He needs to get some type of legislation going on in his favor. That man needs some type of protection out there, straight up.
My thoughts
is he needs a detail. Yeah, he needs a detail out there for his security and his family security, and for his agricultural security and his livestock out there. See, he needs him about 100 people out there with him.
Right.
And then just lay dead until one of the culprits come up there and then go get him and beat his ass and get him to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the police department do, right?
My thoughts is this, I don't know. Like I was trying to ask Jesse a question earlier, and I guess I'll just wait till Brother Eric answers my question. Um, I don't, if he's not going back up there, then it kind of makes me wonder. You know what I mean? So, there's some naivety going on, and we're all for do it for self and agriculture and whatnot. That's everything that we talk about all the time. And sadly, when you can't address it's racism, white supremacy flat out without backpedaling and doing this all inclusive shit, it's kind of off code. Not kind of, but it is. And the fact is
And
that
in addition to, it's countermanding the so-called progress that we made.
yeah, that too. And the fact is that they had help, they get help, they got plenty of resources. In a sense, too, it's wrong that whatever's happening. The fact is that the police, when the news people try to get the records about what's going on out there, because they filed many, 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 many reports. The police sent the sent the bill to the news. I thought that was suspect in itself and a sign of guilt, and it didn't even answer. The other thing is that the protest, yeah. Like I said, we've been covering it for weeks. Um, at least here, and then whenever I do get a chance to do the RVA, just once, like I think it's like every 2-3 weeks now that I've done it. The last time I had covered it, I just noticed that it was a lot of like our brother had said, a lot of showboating and clout chasing. That's not what we were. That's not what when I initially wanted to go. I initially wanted to go to protest because we're out here in the city of Denver. When the new black media was covering it, they're covering it from out of the state. We're actually here. However, not for no not for no clout reasons, like it was brought up. Mostly for the simple fact that that's what we talk about: doing for self, growing our own food, um, agriculture. Building the black family, etc., etc., etc. So that's to be supportive. However, it was like it was brought to our attention to ease back and didn't get really all the details about it because everybody's busy. And I'm kind of, in a sense, now that seeing who all appeared there, you know, some people are just not well meaning. They're just there. And when it
Yeah, you're right.
at the cultural center, all of a sudden it becomes a movement. You know what I mean? When it wasn't like when nobody cared until it was brought to the forefront, even though we had been bringing it to the forefront for a minute. You see what I'm saying? And so I kind of feel like that's shitty. Um, I don't really know, and it's up to further. It's up to like further following and investigation. I guess because that's what we've been doing. I've been following it avidly. And other cases I'm kind of interested in. I follow. But I know that if our brother isn't going back up there, then that's a sign. You know what I mean? And yeah, they might need help, or they might have already had help. It might just be a whole bunch of other stuff going on that we don't even know about and not even want to get involved with. It is a tragedy. It's tragic what's happening. However, we're only getting like one portion of the story, and it's only like at 4%. You see what I'm saying? We're not getting the full story from all perspectives. You know. That's all I have to say about that.
You sound just like the old girl on the news.
Who?
There's all sides, there's different sides to this or whatever.
No. That's not what I'm saying, Jesse. Is that what you heard?
Yeah.
Focus. Get back in the game, cuz that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. What I said was, given what he said, right, during the rally, right, the interview they gave, all the evidence presented, this is what it looks like. Given that our brother said this and this, that's where I'm going with that. Focus.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with that. Okay. Given all that everybody's covered, we're the only ones actually in Denver, cuz. You see what I'm saying? So we have a first-hand view of everything. We're actually here.
Yeah, your state capital is in Denver.
What I'm saying is basically on code and not backpedaling, Jesse. Not backpedaling. I'm not taking no sides because I'm on code.
Taking sides. I told you there was something up with this. I told you that.
Right, and I'm in agreement with you.
Came out.
I'm in agreement with you.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Yes, there's all these little sides. We're only getting 5%, 4%. I'm in agreement with you. It wasn't an argument. I'm actually in agreement. I was in agreement beforehand. What are you hearing? I'm in agreement. I'm pointing out the negatives. I'm pointing out the people that were showboating. I'm pointing out what they're saying. I'm in agreement.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna move to our next topic because it's almost midnight. The next topic is the Candidate Ballot Access for primary elections gets voted down 4-1, and I spoke against it along with several other members of the Unity Party of it getting passed. So I'm just gonna play the video of me speaking. It's just the audio though.
Mr. Lemke, Ms. Linda, Ms. Vicky, they all brought up some fantastic points, and I agree with all of them.
Thursday before last.
Silences the people. It silences all those that were elected in positions like the precinct leader. And in El Paso County, we've done a fantastic job of getting people involved. That's the beauty of this system. And when you bring in competition, we know that brings
set up, I can't
higher quality
fast forward and all that,
and more options for the people to choose.
It's delayed.
And this will, if this is passed, it will silence that. So I emphatically ask that you vote no on this, and let's keep our awesome assembly process. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Zamora Wilson. Next up, Mr. Paris. Welcome. Tell us your name, who you represent, and begin your testimony.
Yes, thank you, Senate Chair, Senator Coleman. My name is Jessica Sean Paris, and I'm representing for Black Star Action Movement for Self-Defense, Positive Action Committee for Social Change, as well as I am the junior chairman of the Colorado Unity Party, Front Line Blacc, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and I am a candidate for mayor in the Denver election. I also oppose Senate Bill 23-101 because, for the simple fact, it is not democratic. All I hear is we need to preserve democracy. We need to preserve democracy. How is this preserving democracy? This is literally showing the hypocrisy of this so-called democracy. If you allow this to pass onto the floor, this is not a fair process. I'm saying that now clearly. My second time running for political office. The first time I ran was for Denver City Council at large in 2019, where I received almost 15,000 votes with no money. I had to petition to get 300 signatures to get on the ballot. This time around, I petitioned, as a previous speaker from my party spoke, Eric Bodenstaff, to get on the ballot for the Denver mayoral election. I did not make it, so I'm not on the ballot. So you need to write me in if you're going to vote for me in Denver. And this whole process, this whole fair elections process, all this process has not been fair. There's nothing fair about any of this. It is pay as you play, as previous speakers have said, And if you allow this to pass tonight, then you're just proving us all right that oppose this bill, that this is not for the people. This is to stifle the voice of the people and to limit their choices. So I would ask that you vote no on this, put it in the kill committee, just like you did the Right to Rest Act in 2018. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paris. And last but not least, here in a position of amend, Mr. Rutledge, thank you for joining us. Tell us your name, who you represent, and begin. You'll have 2 minutes.
Good evening.
All right. Yeah, so as I just stated, that bill was going to get rid of democracy. We're just going to keep exposing the hypocrisy of this bullshit democracy. There's nothing democratic about none of this. What are your thoughts, Shabaka? Shabaka? Did you pass out, Shabaka?
Yeah, man. Whoa. Yeah, I'm still here hanging with you.
Okay. Did you hear what I just said?
Could you repeat your last sentence, please?
Did you hear the clip of me speaking at the Capitol?
Okay, no, that's why I twilighted that. Okay, if you could refresh me on that.
So I emphatically ask that you vote no on this, and let's keep our awesome assembly process. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Zamora Wilson. Next up, Mr. Paris. Welcome. Tell us your name, who you represent, and begin your testimony.
Yes, thank you, Senate Chair, Senator Coleman. My name is Jesse LaShawn Paris, and I'm representing for Black Star Action Movement for Self-Defense, Positive Action Committee for Social Change, as well as I am the junior chairman of the Colorado Unity Party, Front Line Blacc, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and I am a candidate for mayor in the Denver election. I also oppose Senate Bill 23-101 because, for the simple fact, it is not democratic. All I hear is we need to preserve democracy. We need to preserve democracy. How is this preserving democracy? This is literally showing the hypocrisy of this so-called democracy. If you allow this to pass onto the floor, this is not a fair process. I'm saying that now. Clearly, my second time running for political office. The first time I ran was for Denver City Council at large in 2019, where I received almost 15,000 votes with no money. I had to petition to get 300 signatures to get on the ballot. This time around, I petitioned, as a previous speaker from my party spoke, Eric Bodenstaff, to get on the ballot for the Denver mayoral election. I did not make it, so I'm not on the ballot. So you need to write me in if you're going to vote for me in Denver. And this whole process, this whole fair elections process, all this process has not been fair. There's nothing fair about any of this. It is pay as you play, as previous speakers have said. And if you allow this to pass tonight, then you're just proving us all right that oppose this bill, that this is not for the people. This is to stifle the voice of the people and to limit their choices. So I would ask that you vote no on this, put it in the kill committee, just like you did the Right to Rest Act in 2018. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay, Shabaka.
Yes, sir.
What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, well, thoughts on that is, man, is you telling them absolutely right, and like I've said before, is that your platform, man, is going against the popular version of their prepackaged bullshit, which is their version of truth, and you dealing with the real. You see, that's what they're not digging, is that you coming to them with the real essentials, and keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely keep it up, is because you're putting them on the spot. That's what they don't like about you. Mm-hmm. Hey, and I'm glad that you're putting them on the spot. You know what I'm saying, man? Keep it up in their face with their hypocrisy and rub their nose in it. You see what I mean? Hey, no, I'm dead serious. Yeah. You see, because there's an old saying with these no good, crooked ass bastards who are opposing you. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're trying to derail you. There's an old saying, hey, man, you could fool some of the people all the time. You could fool all the people some of the time, but you're not going to fool all the people all the time. And this is what these tricks is doing. You come in, you know, with a humane campaign, actually. Let's see. You know, and I bet you not one of them no good bastards, man, we're going to want to go out there and trade places with some of the unhoused who's sitting outside right now as we speak from L.A. to New York City, Denver and Las Vegas included.
Of course not.
Exactly. You know, and I ain't never wish no ill will on anyone, you know. Suppose if it was your relative out there, suppose if it was a loved one. Then, you know, you got homeless families out there. You see, you got children coming up homeless, you know, not only in Los Angeles, not only in Denver, but, you know, like Philadelphia, New York, you know, and you already got 2 and 3 generations of children that have came up homeless. I'm speaking to somebody on social media about homelessness, and they saying they homeless all their life. And I'm like, wait a minute, how the fuck you gonna be homeless all your life?
Yeah. That's right.
And this person's only like, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. And this is what contributes to these children being exploited. This is what contributes to this mass incarceration. You see, because when you, as we all know, when you out there living in the street, man, you're in a survival mode. You're not living, you know, you're in a survival mode, which can get predatory, as we all know.
Yep. Yeah, so I wanted to give us an update on the Denver mayor's race before you go to sleep, Shabaka.
Yes, sir.
So
I thought it was pretty good too. Since, you know, keep forgetting about me. I thought it was pretty good. Do what you told him.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lady Che. Yeah, so the update on the Denver mayor's race is now that they're trying to narrow it down, Shabaka and Lady Che. They're trying to narrow it down to 10 to 7 people. This past week, they had candidate forums, none of which I was invited to. Team Paris was not invited to either of them. With the realtors and with PBS 12.
You also had the homeless, the unhoused forum. You could show them a little bit of that because you did have that too.
Yeah, we did that last time, no, Lady Che.
No, we only did the Regis one. Or the MSU one. We didn't do the unhoused forum. You could at least get it for like 16 minutes in for the first 3 minutes where you go off. That was pretty good because nobody else seen it. That was last week. That was on Monday, remember? Monday.
This past Monday, yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday, so you could show the people that. Since you could carry that for the unhoused neighbor news portion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
So it's the mayoral race is getting what now? What were you saying?
They're narrowing it down to 7 to 10 candidates. So they're trying to narrow it down to 17 candidates, but it's still 21 people in the race, 17 on the ballot, 4 write-ins, including myself.
Okay. So, of course, what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get rid of all the write-ins. Let's say that's a given. Okay. All right, so just keep putting it up there in the face, man. You know, use a platform, man. You know, go take pictures of these fools, confront them out there, you know, on the street. You know what I'm saying? Confront them out there with, hey, you know, all you all is for this big business shit. And I'm out here, you know, for the unhoused neighbors, you know, and tell them that they're full of shit.
Oh, we do that every chance we get, Shabaki. So
Okay.
I was hoping the video was gonna play, but it's not. So I'm gonna have to go to Facebook and find it.
Oh, and then also two-way pulling up the videos, information off the West Coast, that I put it up there on my wall, and the title of it is that Los Angeles is full of shit, is because it was dealing with that the city of Los Angeles does not have enough sanitary toilets out there for the homeless, and so the people are literally pissing and shitting in the street, and they're worrying about a typhoid and hepatitis and stuff like that out there.
We invited you here today, candidates.
Damn, Shabaka, that's horrible.
Because we want to make sure
it is.
Mayor of Denver.
I got a question real quick, Shabaka. What happened to them making it a fucking state of emergency? Old girl got into office. This was supposed to be a state of emergency. What happened?
Yeah, right. You see, okay, what's happening with her is that it's just like what we knew that she would do. She was just doing that shit to get votes, and then what she's doing is that she is sending the LAPD out there to forcibly tear down the homeless camps. And I mean, they coming out there with cranes and dumpsters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bulldozers, all that shit. And they sending the lap dogs out there. And, and they're tearing down the tents, but at the same token, nobody's not telling the people where they can go and shower and stuff like that. So the people are pissing and shitting in the street. And the video that I put up there on my wall earlier today proves that. And you say, and not only is it horrible and the act in itself, but look at the diseases that can come with that.
I heard the LA River near overflowing.
Oh, yeah, that's the world's largest sewer. And if we got any of our unhoused neighbors who were sitting there in the LA River, guess what happened to all their belongings?
They got swept away.
And maybe them, they got washed out to sea because that aqueduct ends down in Long Beach into the Pacific Ocean. See, so that's the sea. So I already see it. I mean, they telegraphing it a mile away, man. I knew when that raggedy ass broad got elected, man, it was going to be some shit like that. Yeah, see, so they're pushing them further and further west, as you know, Jesse, like from the Fred George mission, from the LA, mission, and the aqueduct or the LA River, as they call it, that I refer to as the world's largest sewer, is like about 12 blocks from there. And the further east they go, that's where they're going to wind up doing, is going down there, camping on that riverbank. And then when the water comes in, just like it did, it's washing them out. It's washing them out. And
real quick, Shabaka, just real quick, let me just say this one thing real quick. That just goes to show you, Black family in Denver, that anybody hollering that making this shit a state of emergency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is just doing it pretty duck dancing for the fucking free vote of confidence. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, they grandstand.
We didn't do that shit over there.
Yeah, you're right, Lady J. They grandstand.
Yeah.
No, they're
absolutely correct.
What these fools is trying to do is what Eric Adams is doing in New York.
Right. And that's just like you said, pretty what is Trinidad James? I'm sorry, Trinidad James. Think about Trinidad James. My bad.
All right.
Let's say Trinidad, right? Said he was gonna make a state of emergency, right? Him and like one other motherfucker said that, right? And in reality,
Andy.
She did it. She over there in California, she said she was gonna do this and she was signing some shit. She was acting like she was gonna do it, and now look, she did shit. And old boy Eric Adams over there hospitalizing, criminalizing, fucking locking motherfuckers up at the fucking train station. Nobody knows where they went. You know what I mean? So you just go see people, goes to them out, and they're giggling about it. So it's a reality. We're about to have our own Eric Adams, just in a fucking probably a non-black person. in a non-black place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then the sad part about it is just like what Brother Chase say. Yeah, and just like what Brother Chase says that you guys got on that flyer, a new movie coming out called Coon, starring the majority of the motherfuckers.
Did you like that flyer? You like that that?
That's what's up.
I made that.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And definitely we'll share that there to Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Since that's where they make that bullshit at anyway.
I made that.
You see what I mean? Yeah, I'm talking about the movies that they do in Los Angeles. And once again, Karen Bass is full of shit. You know what I'm saying? And she is welcome to call in at 516-418-5996, and we will be happy to debate her sorry ass.
Yeah, I did that for my own amusement. A lot of things to do for my own amusement, but yeah, I think I got it from Cookies, whatever it is, Little Moments, where you throw out a little meme, and I saved it for my own personal amusement. Yeah, I made the little clip. I don't care. It's true though. It's not like it's a lie. Don't let the shade deflect.
Oh, and then also too, let's make an announcement that we're going to have the YouTube channel for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which is a division of Front Line Blacc News. We're going to start putting us some content on there. So we can start monetizing these platforms, okay? Because we're concerned about the homeless people who are displaced, and we need the public support, in doing this, because there's nothing nice being out there homeless. Imagine
we
that
get
was you.
A lot more footage. Hopefully, we don't have no more blizzards coming up. But it's March.
No, I certainly. I certainly hope not. And then in San Bernardino, it's snowing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is crazy as hell.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. And I know you know where San Bernardino is, Lady Chase.
Yeah, that's just the weather alone in California this last year has been crazy.
Yeah, well, what it is though is that because Vegas is just only like let's see, how far is we from LA? Like 300.
Arizona had crazy too.
Yeah, well, in Arizona, in Flagstaff, they're 6,000 feet above sea level in Flagstaff. They higher in altitude than Denver is.
Yeah. Hey, Shabaka, you got to watch this little section right here. Just go 16 minutes in.
All right.
Oh, and there's an empty chair there.
No, 16 minutes is when you get up on the stage.
Yeah, but
before that, you can hear you in the back. That's 16 minutes.
When we asked the people the three most pressing concerns for the houses,
that's good.
The top answer was by far housing. First question is, as mayor, will you create...
And that's Denver City Hall?
Yeah, this bitch about here like this.
Developments and keep affordable housing by the
How far is...
Is that a yes? Thank you.
How far?
Sorry, can you please say stood, please? I'm going to say your names. I'm seeing Lisa, Thomas, Karen, Renata, Chris,
270
Mike,
miles.
Ian, Leslie, Andy.
Okay, 270, right?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Can we let Jesse join us?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
An advocate for the Unhoused for the last 10 years.
This is good. This is good.
For every city council member. He's a write-in candidate. I believe that he should have the right to be here.
He is not on the ballot, and so we did ask that all candidates that were on the ballot were in attendance for tonight, if they wish to be here.
I also support bringing Jesse up here. I support that.
I third Jesse coming up here, even though he trolls me for whatever reason. Come on up here, Jesse.
Yes.
I don't troll him. Y'all can feel my point. Get that right. You should have got your signatures though, brother, but I still advocate for you to be up here. Instead of talking, you should have actually been out here with the Unhoused, like I've been for damn near a decade. My name is Jessica Sean Paris. Yeah, I didn't make the ballot, but I'm still running for mayor. Jesse, DenverMayor.com, support the campaign. I'm the only one up here out of all of these mugs that's been unhoused under the urban camping ban. I know firsthand what it's like to be told to move along to where you can't sit here, you can't be here. I'm the one that came along with the move along to where. You know what else I came up with? Unhoused neighbors. Because I said, y'all are unhoused, but you're still part of the community. That was my words, tangible. That's my words. That everything they talk about they do, I've already done. I've already housed people. I've already fought to repeal the urban camping ban.
You see that motherfucker laughing because what's his name? Next to Clarence? Walsh.
No, you told him go sweat.
Thank you, Jesse.
And one I was like, who wants some else? That's my best friend.
Yeah, you see that there proves his point right there.
Yeah,
see, that proves his point right there. They don't want to give that man his freedom of speech, you see, and then you can see that write him in is because you can see, you know, is that he got the support of the people standing there listening, they're cheering him on.
Right. Everybody in the audience was unhoused. And then two, that day, like, well, first of all, the first two people that spoke, that you know, we always think that Ian, of course, I kind of semi dig James Walsh. He's okay. You know what I mean?
Stole reparations from us.
Yeah, but I didn't hear that part because I'm just saying he's all right for what I see so far. But Terrence had the audacity to say we troll and we did this and we do that because that motherfucker been stealing our shit from the jump. And everybody's talking about you should take it from Terrence. Because what the fuck, slap yourself 3 times on the tray if you think that's fucking what it is. That motherfucker ain't got a brain in his motherfucking head for anybody to steal anything from.
Right.
He steals from us. As a matter of fact, let's be real technical. Some of that shit came out of this motherfucking brain. I got to keep evolving because I constantly come up with shit like this. Okay? So he's stealing my motherfucking intellectual property every time I say, run my motherfucking Cash App. Because I've been saying that. We've been saying that, whether it came from Jesse, me, I drafted it, he wrote it, he said it, we talked about it, we were one motherfucking unit, one rotating unit. So when that motherfucker says we troll him, he is slapping himself so motherfucking hard he slapped the stupid out of his mouth. We don't troll anybody who's ignorant and like can't think for themselves, let alone come up with their own motherfucking ideas.
Right.
This all those fucking ideas came out of Team Paris' brain, and we got the motherfucking proof to back it up. So anybody's talking about we need to steal from him or borrow whatever the fuck. He ain't got no intellectual property to take from.
Right.
He don't have no intellect.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Not only that, but what intellectual property am I gonna take from him? My own shit.
Right.
Basically, I'm gonna run his motherfucking wallet, him and his bitches. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. But the fact that he got on there, nobody asked him to speak up. He don't even give a fuck. Matter of fact, he don't give a fuck about whether Jesse sat there or didn't sit there, right? But I'm talking about the dude in the red sweater next to you, where you're sitting. You know what I mean? When you got passionate, because how could anybody got to see it from Team Paris' perspective, right? All we've been doing this whole fucking election is fighting.
Right.
Is fighting. So no, we're not gonna stop being passionate and angry and fucking whatever, right? But right there's nothing to laugh about.
Right.
There was nothing.
No, it's not, because being outside is no joke, and then too, and think about the people what they're going through, who are outside in this extreme weather now, from LA to Denver, LA to New York.
Everybody's laughing at Jesse that day, like they were having a couple little moments, right? And I said, look, that day was hard for me and Jesse. It was a really hard day for both of us, right? But I was like, there is not a motherfucking thing funny about any of the shit that Team Paris has been talking about for the last fucking 8 months.
Right.
From tangibles to Black priorities to fucking repealing the camping ban to punishing the motherfucking police,
Right.
all sorts of manners to creatively fucking coming up with solutions to all the back work that fucking Jesse sits on, you know, all the boards and stuff that he's a part of, all the civic duties and shit he does that nobody gives him fucking credit for, right? There's nothing fucking funny
Right.
about any of this shit that happened. None of this stuff, Team Paris not making the ballot was ever supposed to happen. All this negative shit was not a part of our plan.
Right.
It was never a part of our fucking plan. And it just kept getting like one obstacle after another. And what does Team Paris did? Fucking kept fighting the fight and going about it in different ways. Not following the same motherfucking trends, not pretty duck dancing, not begging for fucking dollars, not doing anything but putting in fucking work and actually hitting the street. Two fucking people. Well, everybody had a fucking machine. And everyone wants to say, Jesse, you should have did this. Jesse, you should have did that. Jesse, you should have did Jesse. Nobody was a motherfucking around to really help him when he fucking needed it. And every time he helped everybody beforehand, when was it fucking reciprocated? When he fucking needed it. Right? But no one wants to admit that part. How many motherfuckers did you help years before that, cuz? Get into their position, and now they couldn't even turn around and help you. See what I'm saying? Let's just be honest about that part. Secondly, you know, everybody wants to say they wanted to laugh about fucking having a B1 agenda. And now everybody's biggity black.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Black History Month.
Jesse couldn't do a black first agenda, remember?
Yep.
Remember, Jesse? They said you couldn't have
a black 1 month a year. We're black 365.
Right. They told him
24/7.
They laughed at him. They talked shit about it for fucking months. And we said, what do? We just laughed at them and said, fuck you. Yes, we will. And we did. We did. None of this shit was supposed to happen. Nothing that has happened in the last fucking 7-8 months, either through the election or personally, or, you know, affected us, was ever supposed to happen. And we just kept persevering. So when he gets upset, when I get upset, when we try our fucking best to fucking fight the rise, do the shit with the Fair Elections Division, you know, send them emails, try to get a fucking walkthrough with the fucking mayor, any of the fucking shit we're supposed to do, and keep getting turned down. We still keep fighting.
Right.
We still keep fighting, but everybody wants to talk shit. But when they laughed at him and said that Team Paris couldn't do a black first agenda, and now everybody's fucking baby black, and I'm over there calling it out because it's wrong. You're still using broad and ambiguous terms, but you're still trying to be black-minded. When you have none of that shit going on the rest of the motherfucking year and the years before that, come on now. He's been that way the whole time. The whole time. Whole fucking time. Nothing has changed with his fucking essence. Nothing has changed over here with my fucking personality. You see what I'm saying? That's what people fail to understand. So when these motherfuckers are there laughing, but they're about to start freezing to death, the only motherfucker who isn't freezing to death is actually Jesse because he's conditioned. Yep. See what I'm saying? If he rolls that beautiful bean footage back, he'll see all the motherfucking white people except for Ian and maybe one other. Freezing, shaking. You know what I mean? As the fucking evening goes on. They didn't let him talk. They didn't want to give him any questions. They fucking just placated to let him sit up there. That's that bullshit. And everybody at that motherfucking that forum, they knew better. They tokenized him. They made him the fucking face of black homelessness, right? Is how I said it, right? They made him that way, and then they fucking said because he didn't get on the ballot, even knowing goddamn well he was the one that pushed their fucking shit all these fucking years. And every week, he's like, move along to where? Stop the sweeps, end this motherfucking hostile infrastructure, et cetera, right? Every fucking Monday and then some. No one want to give him his dues, smile in his motherfucking face, and act like he don't fucking exist, knowing goddamn well on the backside they're calling him, giving him daps and hugs. That's that motherfucking hypocrisy. That's all I have to say. Sorry.
You're right.
Go ahead, Jesse.
No. She's right.
Go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
All right, so that's the crowd. I got one question. That's because old boy yelled it to me.
What's the name of old boy in the sweater? The one that says "you people" all the time.
Thomas Wolf.
Yeah, him. That's the one sitting next to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least I'm glad he did that, because at least you got to say something. They don't
So
make
what's up with Jeff Clark?
Yeah,
I guess he didn't tell you right.
I kind of cussed him out too.
Okay.
You'll see it right there. Where I was like, "This is trash."
Right.
You'll see my comments on
It is
Jeff.
not a political talking point. Affordable housing. Oh, tax incentives to pay for this. That's them. Housing is a human right. I am an ex-gang member.
This motherfucker's
because we're just spinning our wheels. It's just going to be more of the same. You're just going to keep throwing money at programs that aren't reaching the people that need them. So the thing I would suggest would definitely be an audit of all of the service providers, including C.A.R.E.N Coalition for the Homeless,
to help them to thrive. So all of those things need. Thank you.
Now, what the hell is she talking about? Help them to thrive.
That's our Kamala, man. She's prettier than the other black
I'm
chick.
the only one up here that is a client of CCH. I am a client of C.A.R.E.N Coalition for the Homeless. If I was the mayor, I would make sure that there was enough housing for those that are in your situation right now. Like, the services aren't reaching the people that actually need them. So you'll hear all this talk about we need housing and we need services. I'm in a program right now. It's failing the people. So the service providers need to be audited. We need to get people in there that actually know what the hell they're talking about, know what people are actually going through, have lived experience with what you're going through. Otherwise, we're just spinning our wheels. It's just going to be more of the same. You're just going to keep throwing money at programs that aren't reaching the people that need them. So the thing I would suggest would definitely be an audit of all of the service providers, including C.A.R.E.N Coalition for the Homeless. Brenda Fisher should not be the head of C.A.R.E.N Coalition for the Homeless, especially seeing the job that she did as host, director of host. So yeah, we can do better. And under a Paris administration, we will do better. Thank you for your question, sweet.
Well, all right, Mr. Mayor.
And then go to the last one where you do your little interview that you had to fucking damn near chase him for.
Get arrested and harassed with the people. So I
streamed this live too when it was going on. I was more passionate then.
It's good that you are always out here on the front line. You're not gonna interview me, Jeff? Come on over here, Jesse Ferris.
He walked away from him initially a couple of times, and I called it out.
Everything's on. Just saying, under our Paris administration, we will do better. So Rodney and Jesse Ferris for Denver Mayor. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. Like I said, I am still true. I'm the only candidate that was unhoused under the camping ban that's running for mayor. There might have been other candidates that were unhoused prior to the urban camping ban. I'm the only one that was told to move along. You can't sit here, you can't stand here. You have to go. I was banned from the raid campus for 8 years as a result of the urban camping ban. So I've been criminalized by the urban camping ban. I've been arrested, ticketed, and harassed for covering myself with a tent, a tarp, a sleeping bag, anything besides my own clothing. Well, let me just ask this. You do know firsthand, and you've lived this. And I don't know, everyone who spoke knows you. Why was it so hard for you to be able to participate in a forum that this is your community? Right. So can you? All I can say, Jeff, is I received an email that I was invited to this event, and then a couple weeks later, after the ballots situation got figured out, because I was caring for over a week. When they called me, found out I didn't make the ballot, they sent me another email, said I was uninvited. This is a public event. Well, you got a lot of support from those who were also a part of the forum, and actually demanded that you participate. So, what do you take away from hearing the different candidates, etc.? There are a lot of individuals that won't have a place to go home tonight. So, what is your takeaway? What is your final message you'd like everyone to know?
My final message is we need people with lived experience to actually have solutions to these problems that we're dealing with and have been dealing with for decades now. Homelessness is nothing new. Poverty is nothing new. So we need people that have lived experience with that can bring those solutions. They're not just talking out there behind. This is some stuff you cannot learn in a textbook. You have to be out here in the trenches with the people. I've shown and proved that for the past 10 years. I've been out in the trenches with the people. I've been sleeping outside with the people. I've been ticked, arrested, and harassed with the people. So I had that experience. We need people with experience, seriously.
Thank you, Jesse Paris. Appreciate it. Therese, you heard from...
My thoughts were like, my thoughts were like this, like, I think like how I would, first of all, yeah, nobody knows what really, how fucking hard that shit was. It wasn't really hard, but the fact that we relied on a few things to happen during that the signature collection time, and we had two bomb cyclones back to back. I think three, yeah. It was extremely not difficult. It was just like when you put your faith in shit that people are like, yeah, we're gonna help you, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. You know what I mean? And it didn't happen, and then I go track that shit down, and then only to find out that none of that was equatable. Not to mention the first petition we turned in, they kicked out fucking half of them for fucking like out of nowhere, like no reason. So same thing with the fucking finances. It was just one thing after fucking another, and then no matter what we said or even how to prove it, it was just our word against the Fair Election Division, or what isn't that what it's called, Jesse? The election division. And it looked like, oh, we're poor sports, or we're not taking it serious, or whatever the fuck they wanted to call it, some weak shit. You know what I mean? When it wasn't like that. The first time we turned in that first petition, we were so fucking sure it was ridiculous. And then we, like, the next 2 days later, I'm reading it, I'm like, damn, I started fucking crying. Literally, legitimately, fucking tears fell through my face. It was like 29 motherfucking names. You go kick out 29 out of 50? For reals? For real? Like, what the fuck is that about? And it's just everyone after that.
I wanted to get 600.
Right. And look,
because I already knew they was going to kick back half.
Everybody thinks Jesse didn't try, or Jesse didn't do anything, or Jesse whatever. Jesse fucking went above and beyond the motherfucking Call of Duty to get these motherfucking signatures, that only for them to kick out a majority of them, or tell them whatever, or not accept them, or having to go look for petitions that he lent out because fucking they said, hey, we got you. You know what I mean? And only for that to not be reciprocated. You know, he was on the bus. He was in the street. We were on our way to sweeps. We were stopping in the middle of the sidewalk, talking to people. We were out there. And there was only a few times where I couldn't even go with him, and I'm going mobbing with him. You know what I mean? Mobbing or not. I've seen him do it with my own motherfucking eyes. The fucking amount of dedication he put into that. So for it to be kicked back, for it not to be enough, for it to be with the motherfucking weather and every fucking stupid obstacle you could possibly think of, including traitors, right? Including, let's not forget the traitors too. You know what I mean? That you think that, like, for example, how's one person just gonna be working for one of the other candidates and then take a petition and then not even bring that motherfucker back? You know what I mean? right? And then let's just keep on it. The only one that actually did right by him was an unhoused neighbor.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So you got me running the fucking ones and twos over here and helping him, not helping him get signatures, but helping him, and him walking around getting signatures, walking around the neighborhoods, on the bus, everywhere we went, everywhere we fucking went. And it wasn't
he's definitely a man of the people.
It wasn't fucking enough. And for everybody, we gotta leave him out the game. He didn't do what he was supposed to. Man, fuck you, cuz you don't know what the fuck he been through. Nobody knows except the people who are living with him.
Right.
Fucking blood, sweat, tears, fucking worn out feet, fucking just not just hey, hurry up and sign this, but actually listening to the fucking people. And me, they're taking notes and fucking changing shit as I evolve. We evolve with the people. Not the same old pretty duck dancing that everybody else is fucking doing. We were actually out there chopping it up with the people, not rushing them to sign some shit and not begging. We're actually out there. So yeah, it was fucking it's devastating. It's even worse. The motherfuckers didn't take our efforts, don't take our efforts seriously, right? And then to be disinvited, or not even disinvited, but to be told, sit in the motherfucking audience knowing goddamn well you're the best motherfucking representative to go up there and at least try to argue a fucking particular case or present something fucking completely new and different that these motherfucking off-brands have been either talking about for fucking like 8 years or haven't done shit about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We have completely different fucking ideas and thoughts, but we got to fight for it. And they don't want to hear it. They don't want to see us because we're too, what is it? What does somebody say? Competitive, aggressive, whatever. Well, shit. How else is it going to happen? We can't depend on anybody else to fucking give us media spotlight or fucking any of that shit. No money means no money. Right? Support goes here and there, little by little. He did a good job. And it's still got one more motherfucking month. One more fucking month, a month and a half or some shit. We still got to go hard. Where everybody says, I'm going to sit back in the cut. You got 9 News talking about the 1%, the 3%, just go ahead and sit it down. Nobody's gotten more than 7%. No, that's okay. That's okay. Maybe we got strategic games playing. Maybe all of them could fucking sit down and we'll see what happens. Either way, I said I wasn't going to make it easy for them. They didn't make it easy for us. They've been shitting on us from day one, talking about no B1 agenda, no new black mayor, male black mayor, right? Heterosexual male black mayor, right? Right? A whole bunch of other things that they kept saying. No Jesse Paris, no Team Paris, no this, no that, no nothing. And we didn't buckle, and we're not gonna buckle now. That shit's hard to say, baby. Can't do it now. Can't do it now. Well, we watched one candidate change their motherfucking rhetoric in 4 different forums now.
Yep.
She's changed up in 4 different forums.
Yep.
Everybody's stealing from everybody, and I'm afraid to put more shit up on our actual website, which I say ours, I mean Jesse's website, for the fear of motherfuckers stealing his shit and running off with the fucking glory when knowing goddamn well it didn't come from their motherfucking lack of ingenuity, creativity, or fucking outside the box thinking. Real shit. He did a good job. You did a good job, Jesse.
Thank you.
Black power.
Shabaka, did you have anything you want to leave us with? Because I know you're about to pass out if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely check with us on Tuesday night. We're going to try to do a special episode depending on, how this weather is, definitely checking on our unhoused neighbors who are out here and it's cold, and also too trying to update from Los Angeles about how they're full of shit where they took all the porta potties off of Skid Row, and they had a hepatitis situation down there, and then you could also have other catastrophic diseases from that. typhoid, dysentery, all kind of stuff, and this is why the title of that episode is going to be Los Angeles is full of shit. And I mean, because straight out, you're going to have to call it for what it is. I mean, here you got Beverly Hills out there, Bel Air, Brentwood, the San Fernando Valley, and you telling me that you cannot go up there and knock on them people's doors out there? Well, guess what? We doubling your tax on your property to be here in the city of LA and designate that revenue, for some porta potties out there, number one. Then, of course, to continue to work to get the people, from being in an unhoused situation. And then the cold part about it is when it was just black people who was out there like that, society would look down on us because, they hate us. We know that. You see, but then when these Kens and Karens start going out there, if you know what I mean, now all of a sudden we got half a problem. Like I put it up on my wall for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Everybody's walking around like a damn, messing with them damn narcotics, But you don't see the police going there raiding them,
Right.
Yes, sir. And it's up on my wall. You know what I'm saying? And I think I put the tag zombies by it, You can't miss it. Went up there to that. So are you going to be doing, what you usually do on Sundays tomorrow at the Senior Citizens Apartment?
Yep.
All right. And how come none of these mayoral candidates are not out there helping you do that?
Because they don't give a damn about people.
And
right, exactly. So
some off-brand said this is just a volunteer position. You can't really take it serious. And he does take it seriously every motherfucking week. He takes it very seriously.
Right.
Everybody likes to try to downplay Jesse's involvement with everything else, and then when it comes time for them to meet him, they don't even apologize. They just expect.
Right. See, Yeah, but that's politics. And then when Jesse wins to become the mayor, because I'm not counting Jesse out. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Jesse go up there, and beat all them fools and become the mayor. And then whatever city jobs they got, man, hand them their damn pink notes. You know what I'm saying? Start impounding their cars.
Even if it doesn't happen this time, Jesse will always be the mayor to us. But I think that in the next little round, when he has a chance, if he so wants to, it'll be better situated and more. I think he'll have a much more smoother success rate. Minus all the hiccups. I don't foresee that happening. If he chooses to run again in 4 years, whenever somebody's up for re-election.
Oh, that'll be in 2027.
Yeah, he's still gonna be a young man. He's still a young man.
Yeah, he still has youth on his side. It's questionable if I'll be here in 2027.
You meet both, Brother Shabaka. You meet both. I think we will, though.
It's just the age factor. So, like I said, and this is why I'm passing down, all the experiences that I lived through in our people's history. And I always wanted checked and double checked, you know what I'm saying? And then there was a clip that I posted up on my wall, another clip of Muhammad Ali before he went to Africa, and telling white America what they were. Man, that's why he was hated. See, the thing is, you have to remember about a guy like that is that people paid to see him get his ass whooped. That's how he made his money. Yeah, that's how he made his money. They paid to see him get his ass whooped, but he's disappointed. And then the hateration you see there in Denver, what they're doing with Brother Che, because they don't dig his message, because he's putting these clowns on the spot. And then you're getting these damn busters up here with prepackaged bullshit, man. And I'm just looking at that. They just can't stand a real individual. See, a fake individual cannot stand a real.
I can say this, baby, been consistent the whole time. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, he's staying consistent the whole time. He's putting up a fight. And I'm proud of the brother. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, in the way how you spoke to them fools up there tonight, man, you do it every time. And make sure you got some of the unhoused neighbors with you, man. Speak to the unhoused neighbors. See how you get them registered to vote. And I'm not going to say by hook crook because, you got certain laws and regulations and morals you got to follow when you run for public office. See? But that man, Jesse Parris, no, he's the one that you want for the mayor of Denver, folks. And also, too, unlike C.A.R.E.N Ballc of Los Angeles, he will have the power to fire the damn police chief and those rogue ass cops that you got in. And I would suggest that Mr. Parris goes on there and fire the whole goddamn police department right there.
Yep.
Each and every last one of them, from the chief on down.
My way, man. I'll take it with pictures. I'm texting everybody.
What I'll do.
You have to call me a tyrant or a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah, and then what I would do if I was Jesse, what I'll do when he is sworn in as the mayor, hey, police chief, my first official act, give me a badge, man. Done. You through.
Yeah, so Corey, I kind of like that.
Just like that personal. Yeah, no, but just like what Cat Brooks did to Greg Sir over in San Francisco. Okay, just like what Cat Brooks did in Oakland. Well, it was giving a bad time. Oh, the people don't have no power. Well, let me go shut down this 880 freeway, because some trucks come in right there. Oh, y'all still don't get the message. Oh, well, let me go shut down the Bay Bridge. Oh, now I kind of got half of your attention. Oh, she goes over there to San Francisco City Council or the San Francisco County Board of Supervisors. It's because they board of supervisors for the county of San Francisco acts as the legislative body for the city and county of San Francisco. Okay, so what did Ms. Brooks do? Hey, this dude Greg Sir, he got to go. And if you all do not fire his ass, not only will she shut down the Bay Bridge, she was going to shut down the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge at the same time. And as we said before, what will happen to the city of San Francisco with a move like that? It will starve.
I like how the conversations are going lately. They're like, we're getting a new administration, whole new administration. People are might get a whole new police chief, whole new. They already do. We've been saying political.
No. And this is just a suggestion. When Jesse becomes the mayor, I'm just making a suggestion. His first duty of action, his first official act, get the police chief in here. Give me a badge, man. Get the assistant police chief in here. Give me a badge, man. In fact, bring in the whole Denver Police Department, have them line up like children, like how they treat the public, right? Hey, give me your badge, you fired. Give me your badge, you fired. You fired. You fired.
Just for the sake of argument, though. Just for the sake of argument.
But what did I do? Oh, it's not a question of what did you did. It's a question of what you did not did. Of all this impropriety that you witnessed, you did not step up as a law enforcement official to make the correction. Correction. Give me your badge next. Give me your badge.
I got a whole process before we do all that, and I would have a whole process. I would think that do you think that Thomas knows that well, he feels comfortable because everybody's like, probably they're gonna pick them other people, right? But did you think he was kind of in fear if you get elected?
Yeah.
Because it was me. I'm like, man, they definitely call me a motherfucking bias. She's a monster. That's a tyrant. She gotta stop. Why is she taking everything away? Like, I want your house, everything. Everything. Go sit in the box in front of killers. You're like it's just gonna be all bad.
Yeah.
You're like punishment is a motherfucker.
Yeah, put him in a cardboard box. You know what I'm saying? Have him go out there and be unhoused.
That you can't bash people's face on the floor or as you bringing them in from the South Board. You know what I mean? I want you to have a full understanding that you can't shoot your guns in a crowd of people and
Right.
do this, do that. You know, you need to have a full understanding that you can't pull
Mm-hmm.
children out in the hot ass sun and put them on the concrete, or
That was
arresting
ACT, baby.
black women when they're getting beat up at a store, and you arrest them and not the perpetrator. You know what I mean? You just there's got to be a
Right.
level of understanding here. Then you just can't. You can't. You know what I mean? And I think too at the same time, like the chief that we have now, he's decent personally. He came in and then shit just kind of got I think crime got worse.
Mm-hmm.
Did it seem like
So
and we
that's
were
precisely
counting it, right? Remember,
the
I was
point.
counting it. I was
You
counting
know,
how many
Brother Malcolm.
things would happen from the time he came on. Instead of getting better, and their answer, pretty duck dancing, is we need more police officers, not
Yeah,
the
they're talking
actual
about we're
addressing.
short. They're talking about we're short 400 officers.
I can't tell.
Okay, make the city of Denver short 4,000.
I can't tell that they're short. Can you?
Yeah.
No, I can't tell.
I can't tell.
Okay, well, then what they need to do is not hire those assholes, and that money that they was going to pay them, then take that money so the next time they do a homeless encampment sweep, okay, hey, man, here's your hotel room. Here's
I would immediately my first day of office, I would declare the urban camping ban repealed. Like that shit would be repealed, like day one.
You can't.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you have to have a process in place first, man. Like you gotta have something in place first.
And then,
yeah, definitely.
And then take the money from the police department and build up the tiny home. Take the money from the police department and make sure that they got heaters and hand warmers out there. And make sure they got. Make sure they can get insulated tents in the meantime until you make the changes, man. You know, to throw some of them empty building owners in those office buildings that are unoccupied, put the homeless up in there. And then take a tip from the city of Los Angeles.
Shabaka, them tents that they put in for the SOS camps are like fishermen tents, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're really insulated. They're pretty fucking nice.
Ice fishermen tents.
Ice fishermen tents. Jesse, what you could do is you could hypothetically put a time frame on when you're gonna the actual like a realistic time frame about when you're gonna repeal when you would repeal the camping ban, because you gotta have something in place.
In my first year of office.
Yeah, like say this, like for example, 3 months that shit's gone. You see what I'm saying?
It doesn't work like that because you gotta get a vote.
If you could veto it, why couldn't it work like that? If you had something in place, right?
Got to vote on it first, and then whatever I decide, if they vote in favor of repealing it, then I don't have to veto it. If they vote in favor of keeping it, then I have to veto it.
Right, but you see what you just said.
I don't know what it's going to be because I don't know what the council is going to look like.
No, but you just said. Did you hear what you said before? The first thing I would do is.
Yeah, that's within my first year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, there you go. Now
the term is 4 years.
Yeah, because it'll take about a year because he has to go through the paperwork and stuff like that. And then you'll be saving the city of Denver some money, man, because you're going to be seizing some of those roads, cops, pins.
There's so much money to be saved right here. It's ridiculous. They're just not seeing it. They're not seeing all the money and equity and everything that's right there, right in front of their face. There's such a big problem solving dynamic for a problem they created. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, what is this on the screen, Jesse?
This is an article from Newsbreak about the mayor's race in regards to homelessness. I was trying, Shabaka, are you going to be able to stay up, or are you going to go to sleep?
Okay, no, I could probably stay about another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from Newsbreak, and it says homelessness has emerged as one of the biggest issues early on in the Denver and Colorado Springs mayoral races. In Denver, frontrunner Kelly Bruh and 4 other candidates have promised to take a harder line, vowing to involuntarily commit or arrest people who violate the city's camping ban. As mayor, you still have an obligation to keep people safe or keep everyone safe. So if someone can't make the decision for themselves based on mental health or addiction issues, I think we have an obligation as government to make it for them, Bruh said in a recent debate. In an interview with Line News, a news partner of the Denver Gazette, Bruh said arresting someone who violates the urban camping ban will come as a last resort when that person has also declined resources such as shelter, behavioral health treatment, or relocation to a sanctioned camping site. Denver candidates Kwame Spearman, Debbie Ortega, Andy Roger, and Trinidad Rodriguez also support arrests or involuntary commitment to enforce the camping ban. The tougher stance echoes a new policy announced recently by New York Mayor Eric Adams to give first responders more power to forcibly hospitalize people struggling with mental health and homelessness. The program is
now see that's a problem.
Yeah, big time.
See now because now you're forcing people. So when you try to force somebody to do something, man, expect resistance, man, straight up. I mean, that there is only that's human nature. I mean, that's biological nature. You know, when you go off into dealing with the animal kingdom, you know, when one of them tries to force their will on the other, what they're going to do, they're going to defend themselves. So anyway, so what that idiot and asshole is doing is creating more of a bigger problem from an already bad problem. See later for him. Have him be homeless, man, and let's see what he have Karen Bass join. You know?
Right. So the program is an effort to fulfill the law and order mayor's promises to address the rise in subway crimes, which Adam said in October were driven by people with mental health issues, according to reporting by Reuters. California and Oregon have taken similar steps to order more people into treatment with severe mental illness. Adams' new policy is based on a New York state law enacted in 2021 to allow first responders to involuntarily commit a person with mental illness who needs immediate care. Colorado, however, does not have a similar law on the books yet. So Bruh and other candidates' promises may be premature. And it may make sense to see how New York's experiment plays out first before we here in Colorado start expanding the ability of first responders to do involuntary commitments. Colorado right now has a much higher threshold for involuntary commitment. Colorado's laws allow a person to be involuntarily held for 72 hours for a period of treatment and evaluation if he or she appears to have a mental illness and due to the mental illness appears to be an immediate danger to themselves or others, or appears to be gravely disabled. Gravely disabled means that a mentally ill person is unable to make informed decisions about or provide for essential needs without significant supervision and assistance. The host can be initiated by a police officer, a medical professional, or registered nurse, or a licensed social worker. A family member can request such a hold by contracting the county attorney according to the law, but only the executive director of the Colorado Department of Human Services can place someone who is taken into custody on a 72-hour hold into a mental health facility. Certified means...
Damn, that's spending 3 days. That's 3 days in a jail cell.
Yep. Certified means if a person doesn't agree to voluntary treatment, the case goes to a court for further evaluation. It is my understanding that New York can now skip the step of petitioning the court for long-term treatment. The evaluating professionals in this case will be the first responders on the streets. The big question is, do they have the expertise to make involuntary commitment decisions? And where do the patients go? Authorities in Denver and Colorado Springs can't detain a homeless person or order them off the streets if there is not enough shelter space for them. Bruh has acknowledged that Denver needs to greatly expand its authorized homeless camping sites to make the policy illegal. Needless to say, the approach faces opposition. Many mental health advocates say that deploying the police as social workers may do more harm than good. Kathy Alderman, Communications and Public Policy Officer for the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, told our reporter Jessica Gibbs that if Bruh's plan leads to homeless individuals going to jail on allegations of violating the camping ban, that is wildly counterproductive. I have to agree with her there. The enforcement mentality against people experiencing homelessness hasn't worked, she said. New York's policy immediately met legal challenges by mental health advocates, but has so far survived those. A judge ruled in early February that New York City can proceed with the directive. My guess is that all the efforts to reduce homelessness over the years have been so ineffective and counterproductive that despite opposition, a shift in the tides is coming, and that could soon see approaches across the country that imitate New York's. Let's hope if Colorado does consider a similar law, we factor in family members or interested parties into the equation. Psychologists tell me the most successful cases of addiction rehab and mental health treatment involve family members as advocates. The new law in California, for example, requires people with severe mental illness who refuse treatment to face conservatorship. That's what Britney Spears has gone through that, or she went through that.
Right.
It's when
exactly.
Their independence and is appointed a guardian. Family members and friends are still probably a better bet for good decisions about care than police officers and government workers.
Right. Because the only thing a police officer know how to do is set you up to be killed. You know what I mean? And fuck all of them. And I mean, you know, the Tyrese Nichols case did it for me, man. Fuck all of them.
Right.
You know? Right. And then when you become the mayor, hey, and when you become the mayor, not interrupting you, like I said, make that example, man. Hey, man, captain, lieutenant, come in here, turn over your badge, Street patrolman, you get your homie, you turn in your badge. You see what I'm saying? Internal affairs, turn in your badge. You motherfuckers is worthless because you ain't doing your job. Because if you was doing your job in internal affairs, you wouldn't be having all these police problems.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See.
Psychologist E. Fuller Torrey Bessetta or Bessetta, MD, has been a lonely voice advocating for a policy shift toward compulsory treatment for 40 years. He argues that it was a mistake for the country to shut down its public psychological hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, without some sort of replacement. The U.S. discharged hundreds of thousands of patients from public psychiatric hospitals in the 1970s after terrible or horrible conditions and then were revealed. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest probably best captures the mood of those times. But Torrey foresaw that these former patients would cause our current homeless problem. He warned 40 years ago that many former patients would be left wandering city streets untreated, described them as a legion of to be damned. Torrey argues that involuntary commitment is a much more humane approach or response than allowing people with several mental illness to languish on the streets untreated, according to a recent profile in the New York Times or the New York Slimes. The New York mayor's advisor on the new policy has been in direct conversation with Torrey following his recommendations to the letter. Torrey began his quest for a better way to handle the mentally ill after the cause of his sister's schizophrenia was misdiagnosed as a result of family problems, rather than a biological problem. Torrey went on to become a pioneer in biological roots of schizophrenia. I think the stakes are large for the new approach in New York, he told the Times, because if it fails, if you have no improvement at all, I think people give up for another decade. Just live with it for another decade before someone else comes along with a new idea. Damn. Okay. What are your thoughts about
that? Okay, hey, it's crazy, man. The city needs to do something, man, and all these other assholes, man, and these other big cities need to be held accountable as well, too. So when you set the example in Denver, man, you know, try to get some federal legislation going on, man, against all these mayors where they cannot be coming, where they cannot be coming up here with these deceitful acts and call it the National Mayoral Act or Municipal Chief Executive Act. Yes, you got people out there homeless, you know what I'm saying, and you up there debating, man, because you want to put more money into Hollywood, a multi-billion-dollar industry, but yet though you don't even have enough porta potties in the street and the people got to shit in public.
Make sense.
Exactly, that's precisely my point. You know what I mean? And then on the news, and I think I did send you the news clipping, Jesse, out of on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks, which is a section of the city of Los Angeles, where the man went shitted and took the shit and threw it on the asshole's car that was trying to cause him a bad time.
Yeah,
you see. And that, of course, itself, when you are unhoused like that, of course, you're going to have mental issues. You know, 98% of the people out there homeless so for over a year have had some type of form of a nervous breakdown.
Right.
See, you know, and then when these assholes like Han Coon and Karen Bass, Eric Adams, you know, and it's time to turn our backs on these grandstanding ass Negroes in politics who ain't gonna do shit for us. I mean, we got a track record of 50 years, man. You know, got a track record of 50 years. See, and Tom Bradley was a classic example of that. Wellington Webb was a classic example of that. You see what I mean? This raggedy ass broad. You got Mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. See, they're kissing everybody else's ass and caping for other groups as opposed to dealing with their own people. And keep in mind, Chicago is a city that it does have a black stronghold.
Yeah.
Same thing with Detroit.
Black stronghold. It looks like they're diluting that now.
Oh, yeah, they are diluting because they're going to have all these damn Ukrainians and other groups of motherfuckers coming over here, taking up space, and that's where they're going to send them to and all that. But you could best believe what those people are going to do, just like any other groups that came to the U.S. They're going to cluster amongst themselves. They're going to not plot, but they're going to plan to open up their own businesses. And that's for real. And it's very interesting, man, that you ain't ever seen one of the immigrants come here, the illegal immigrants, say, hey, I want a yacht.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Now, what they want is that grant money to go start them a fucking business. See? That's what they're doing in Los Angeles. I ain't mad at them, I'm not mad at them. The one that I'm mad at is these no good, stanky ass, sack of shit municipal employees and elected officials that don't give a fuck about the people who elected them.
Right.
We know that you do because of all the community work that you've done, all the activism that you've done, and what you do on every Sunday. You say every Sunday, brother, I'd see you out there, and you ain't missed a beat. Now, unless of course the truck broke down, they couldn't deliver the food. You see, but you out there, man. You meet the truck, you're a homie, man. You unload it, you go right up there. You socialize with the people for a minute. Tell them, because some may ask, well, what you got, Jesse? Well, I got this here, I got this here, I got this here. You say, they ain't going hungry. And then, like those abandoned buildings that they got there, oh, well, we built a damn building, but we can't rent it out. Then have the superintendent sign a mayoral proclamation. Well, guess what, man? Since you ain't got your mind right on how you're going to do this, in the meantime, man, we use 30,000 rooms to get on the homes.
Right.
And then, of course, as it gets from point A to point B, then you come up with the idea, man, well, how long can a woman and baby stay and how long can the man stay? This is just a suggestion. I'll give a man no more than 3 days. Okay. You got a day to rest. You got a day to wash your hands and wash your clothes. So on the third day, you should be ready to work. Women with children, 2 weeks. Because they got them babies. You see what I'm saying? 2 weeks. And then, too, Jesse, put the stipulation in there is that they could have visitors, but it has to be their immediate family or a significant other. Not the homies from the set over here. Right. Not the crew who just did 5 years and slam on some bullshit, fuck them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we the city is seizing these available office spaces and we're getting ready to convert them into living shelters. And then, of course, have your security there, screen everybody, have them go through the metal detector. If they loaded, show them the back door, tell them to come back when they sober up. You know what I mean? But them women and babies, no, they get first priority.
Right.
See, they got to get first priority. Then after that, then the men come. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
But
and then
I got to
give
move us to
me,
the next
yes,
topic.
sir.
I got another
Okay,
article
let's
I
do
wanted
it.
to read.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Lady Che want to read it.
What?
Do you want to read this article real quick?
Yeah. Can you make it bigger? Never mind. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go to the top. What's the title? Can you go to the top, please?
Hold on, I gotta zoom in.
Nah, you don't have to zoom in. I can see it perfectly fine. I got my
Okay.
screen blown up. I just need to see the title of it. All right. From Newsbreak, 10 candidates for Denver mayor square off in forum by Jessica Gibbs 1 day ago. Okay, go ahead. Okay, stop right there. All right. 10 candidates running to become Denver's next mayor squared off on Friday for a forum covering a bevy of issues, from crime and housing to homelessness and affordability. Although more people are running for mayor, the 10 were invited because current fundraising levels suggested that they are the most viable. Or organizers said PBS 12, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and Denver labor unions hosted the forum. Attending were Ian Tafoya, Leslie Harrod, Debbie Ortega, Trinidad Rodriguez, Andy Bruget, Kwame Spearman, Kelly Bruh, Lisa Calderon, Chris Hansen, and Mike Johnson. The forum kicked off with a panel asking for candidates' take on recent polling that indicates 60% of voters are undecided in the mayor's race, and that no candidate has more than 10% support. To some, like Johnston, the polling meant voters are just now starting to pay attention. Other candidates, such as Calderon and Ortega, cast doubt on the poll's credibility and said it did not capture a diverse, broad group of Denver voices. Harrod suspects voters are taking their time to thoroughly research all the 17 candidates, a long list of names for residents to vet, she said. Candidates how they would respond to rising crime in Denver issues with safety and challenges facing law enforcement. Spearman vowed to enforce city laws and called to the city to think critically about the effects of current policies on crime trends. Roget called local crime trends out of control and said he would increase funding for police training and strive to reduce 911 call wait times. Harrod agreed that the vacancies are posing significant challenges to Denver's law enforcement agencies and said the issue should be addressed alongside better officer training. We are at unsafe conditions right now within the sheriff's office, and the police are also understaffed, she said. Calderon spoke about youth gun violence and noted many programs are geared toward young children and or older adults, but the key demographic needing support are 16 to 24-year-olds, adding to the support for gun laws. Woo! Johnston suggested attracting more police officers, rebuilding police culture, and holding those who break community trust accountable as the way he would look to mitigate the burden taxpayers are feeling by paying off settlements reached in police misconduct issues. Ortega urged a revival of strong community policing programs that build close relationships between officers and local neighborhoods to starve off future settlements, scandals, and in discussing the most pressing issues facing youth. She said some students recently asked for school resource officers, and that city council, mayor, and school district must prioritize youth and community voice. I don't know what student would ask for that type of shit. Candidates were cautious because direct attacks on their competitors, who moderators said would be given a chance to respond, and therefore they quipped more time to have the floor. Some candidates' platforms took indirect heat nonetheless. Spearman routinely said the people running Denver, including numerous candidates for mayor, have been failing the city and that voters want new leadership. Bruh has previously commented that as last resort, she would urge the arrest of homeless people who are violating Denver's urban camping ban, but do not wish to accept city resources such as shelter or behavioral health treatment. Oh my God. The city can also use mental health holds on people who are a threat to themselves or others, she said in recent days. Calderon Calderon would increase the reach of crisis intervention teams and use the whole gavel of tools to provide homeless people support, she said, such as rent eviction assistance and social housing. It is not compassionate to threaten to arrest people or to involuntarily commit them, Calderon said. Bruh said on Friday that she sees addressing homelessness as a goal that helps all city residents, housed or homeless. She reiterated her campaign promise to end unsanctioned camping in her first year as mayor, if elected, and said her priority would be getting people indoors while the city heightens its supply of housing and shelter space throughout the region. Calderon, Tafoya, and Herod said they would not seek to enforce the city's camping ban if elected. Denver has become too expensive for most families to call home. Go back one sentence. Harris said the city must control the housing affordability crisis, she said, touting her work on the Middle Income Housing Authority. Tiny home villages with wraparound supportive services appealed to Johnston. Spearman derided that the city's approach is making Denver's magnet for chronically homeless. I don't think anyone is just going to walk into a housing option or into a shelter if we give them that option, he said. You're welcome.
That damn Kwame Spearman. Oh my God.
Man, that shit was so quick to read. It was ridiculous. Pretty Duck Dancy, that fucking man. Slap all of you. All of you need slapped except for all of you need slapped. Except for Ian. Everybody needs slapped. Social housing. Now we're all following the motherfucking trend of fucking stupid face.
Yeah, you notice he wasn't.
See how good that shit's gonna work out.
You see, they only invited 10 people.
Yeah.
And then this next one, they only invited 7 people.
This is the PBS one, right?
Yeah. Well, no, this is the renters group one.
Yeah, this is different. Oh, okay, you want me to read this one too?
Yeah.
All right, you ready? What's the title? Let's go back up. All right, Denver Gazette. Denver Realtors Group grills mayoral candidates on rental home licensure inspection ordinance. You know who isn't up there is motherfucking stupid face. Isn't that his job?
Yeah, Mr. Home Inspector. He didn't get invited.
Right. Isn't that his job, old fat ass? All right, scroll down a little bit. Sorry. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, the Denver Metro Association of Realtors on Thursday grilled 7 Denver mayoral candidates about city's new rental home registration ordinance, some of whom argued that the new rule has a disaster and should be repealed. The ordinance, which took effect this year, required landlords to get a residential rental property license after their property is checked by a certified inspector. Candidates Kelly Bruh, Chris Hansen, Debbie Ortega, Mike Johnson, State Rep Leslie Harris, Andy Rajette, Kwame Spearman, the same old, delved into other issues too, notably affordable housing and public safety at the PPA Event Center. The candidates' answers have been edited for brevity and clarity. Edited for brevity. Edited. Let's just put edited. Question. Do you believe that the new rental registration and inspection and licensing ordinance is right for Denver? Do we need this program? If so, what kind of changes are needed to bring owners into compliance? Would you support an amendment to amend mom and pop landlords with 3 units or less? Johnson. So I think the process of registration and licensure, I think people will say that they can accommodate. I think the challenge is that the inspection department here to require inspectors sometimes within a 4 to 5, 6 month wait to get access to an inspector. I think for 2 or 3 units or less, you should be able to not have to do an inspection. Jesus Christ. That's fucking shit. You should have an inspection on everything. Harry, we know that they create a great market for inspectors, but there you go, the but, family. What about landlords? What about everyday people? If not working, but that does not mean that we should have people living in unsafe conditions. Absolutely not. But when I talk to my friends who are in the middle income and making ends meet by having small units and that they are offering for rents, they can no longer do their jobs because they can't get through this process and no one's listening to them. She said, but 3 times. So, this comment, this shit is out the door. Rosette, we need to get rid of this law. I'm embarrassed that we haven't already. When we see how it's failed, it's like a lot of other city policies that have failed. We were sitting right now in the new compost and trash collection where we have not been able to get out the trash. We've said, hey, we know the state is coming. City has known it's coming, but failure of the mayor, the failure of the city council, they didn't do anything other than say, here's a great idea, and failed to execute. Ooh. Spearman, I would repeal the law, but I think what we need to ask ourselves is, how did we get here in the first place? We shouldn't ask that at all. We got here in the first place because we do not have people leading our government to understand business. There are so many unintended consequences. I agree that we have good intentions when we're passing these laws. These are one-size-fit-all solutions, and that's the problem. Is that the problem, Kwame? That's not the problem at all. Bruh, I think we have to absolutely look at an exemption for the smallest landlords. But I also think I think we have to back up and ask the questions. What are we trying to address? What's the most efficient way to address it? To me, my guess is what were we trying to address here is that there may be property landlords who are not taking care of their properties. I wonder if you could use resources better on a report out basis, where people can actually report on those landlords. We respond timely. We address the issue and we fix it. And that's a Karen right there. Flat out. That is a Karen right there.
Big
you know what she said? Let's report on these landlords and respond timely. Hanson, I think that the inspection program is suddenly causing a meltdown. I do think legislation needs adjustment. I do think we need to focus on where the problem is. And this kind of across the city solution is to a timeline is not working very well. But I also think there are problem landlords who are causing unsafe conditions. Having this rollout, I think the timeline again can be adjusted. I think the legislation can be adjusted so that we avoid unintended consequences. Man, I like how they're passing the buck right here. Ortega, I was one of the members of council that did vote for this. Ooh. We have a lot of input from renters. We were in buildings that were not up to par. So the issue is really, how do we make sure that there are safe homes for everybody, and that any of the property owners who don't have the resource to do the upgrades have access to resources, whether it's from the city or the state division to housing, to assist them in addressing these issues. Scroll down. Or is it over?
But the only one I really answered the question. That's it.
Okay, cool. First of all, this that whole conversation is fucking stupid. What do you mean you can't do an inspection on your own shit when you're asking for money or wanting to create an ADU? You know what I mean? They come in there when they do the ADUs. We have this, and we've done this, and we've done this study, and we've done this, and blah blah blah, and it's zoned here, and blah blah whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah, but they don't never follow up.
All homeowners are shit right now.
They don't never follow up on that shit. I want to have a complete audit of all these goddamn ADUs. Make sure that these motherfuckers ain't using this shit for short-term rentals and Airbnbs.
You know they are. They go there, talk about that. You know they are. We're going to build this ADU for our dying ailing mother. And then you go check it like 2 years later. There ain't no ailing mother in there. There's a motherfucking whole family there on vacation and shit because it's close to the fucking downtown area. Come on now. Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is how much money is being spent in this race.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's get to the article so I can read it real fast. You see that I don't even know how to say these numbers. So was it Kelly Bruz in the lead? Kwame's at the bottom of this little scale.
Kelly Blood done raised over $1 million. And Andy Rognett, he done raised over 750,000.
Kelly Bros raised over $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
From where?
From private individual donations and fair election.
Wowzers. Oh man, so much to look into later. All right, carry on. We'll scroll down or something. Yeah, I like doing investigations later. Am I reading this? I'm reading this, right? Okay. Trinidad Rodriguez. Where's
Leslie Harrod then raised $702,000.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson then raised $567,000.
Pretty duck dancing, cuz
Chris Hansen then raised $389,000, almost $390,000. Debbie Ortega has raised $313,000. Kwame Spearman has raised $173,000.
According to what was it, 9 News, the first 6 are the ones that they want to talk to. Everybody else can eat a dick. So what he said, so like that. Right.
These are the most viable candidates.
Right.
Damn,
Alex Valdez.
Lisa Calderon has raised $159,000, almost $160,000. So she don't raise more than she raised in 2019.
That's tight.
Ian's raised $140,000. Trinidad Rodriguez $138,000. Thomas Wolf $117,000. The Ops has raised 86,000, almost 86,000. James Walsh 57,000. Alex Valdez, he dropped out, but he raised 57,000. Ilario Martinez 444,000, almost 45,000. That's fair elections money. He got the last of that. And Al Gardner at 12,150. I'm at like less than 2,500.
I don't care. I'm kind of like what's to say? You know what I mean? Even when we were on our way heading in that direction, they made a clear fucking stance. They weren't going to allow that to happen. So
y'all see my comment?
No. Yes. That's what I said. Other than that, I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't really care. It's not really help. Is it helping them? Or no? You know what I mean? Like, I guess if money's the answer, if it looks good, but when you listen to the shit that comes out their mouth, is it really helping them? You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Sabaki, you still with us? Sabaki done passed out.
Passed out. Just go ahead.
All right.
Black Power. See you on Tuesday, brother. Go ahead. Get some rest. Go ahead and let them out. All right. It's not really helping the motherfucking the pretty duck dancing and them gathering all the money and pandering themselves like I mean, hey, if that's what the city likes to look at. So I mean, they're not really about what they're saying. They want the show, and the show is pretty duck dancing, fake ass words, same old. Who can raise the most money by kissing the most ass? Promises, and who suffers at the end of the day? Us, the people. I was sad and disappointed that we couldn't raise money initially, the beginning, till we saw how they did us. And after that, I took a different stance. I don't know how Jesse felt, but my personal stance was, I'm not gonna pander no grown ass man. You get out there and sell your wares. No, that's a grown. That is a man right there. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that there's people freezing, starving, freezing to death.
Right.
I would say this though. It would have been nice if we would have had a nice little chunk of change to work with, so we could actually have a couple simple things like proper signage and whatnot. That would have been a rip. However, no matter, we may do what we could do. You know what I mean? I'm kind of proud of it. Somebody didn't know how to fucking do anything. I sure did fucking put in a lot of work this low campaign season. Yeah, I ran out of ink, family, so supposed to be coming in the mail. Allegedly, I ran out of ink, and I had it all under control over here for like a good couple months. It no matter. Would have been a rip if we kept it going. However, I ain't tripping. Jesse, how you feeling about it? I mean, we would have just been matching everybody else. Be wearing motherfucking hoodies and t-shirts and big old fucking signs to fucking do whatever. But there's always a way to go around. There's a will. There's a way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You won't stay lit. Took the doobies in my ass. Go ahead, Jesse.
So now, Black family, we are down to the last two topics of the night, and that is the unhoused neighbor news and the unhoused neighbor sweeps. So the sweeps continue in 2023. It's probably been about 10, 15 sweeps so far that we know of this year. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to make it out to the sweeps to film them. Hopefully that changes in the future. But yeah, they're still sweeping people like trash. Mayor Mike Hogg, our current mayor, continues to usher out these sweeps every week. And we're back on the list, so we know where the sweeps are, minus the permanent sweep spots, which can be swept whenever they feel like sweeping them. And in the midst of this, we lost a 14-year-old young black man, out on the streets who was sleeping in one of the encampments. So Lady Che is going to read this article.
Yeah, he died right outside of Urban Peak. Right? Yeah. Which, the hypocrisy of all these things that they're always talking about, that they're doing, then why did this young man die in the elements, right, outside of Urban Peak? Right? Let's just carry on with that statement. Which is for more further street investigation done by us truly, because you're never going to get it through. You're never going to find out actually what's really cracking. Scroll down a little bit. What's really cracking. It says, this is from, where's this from, Jesse?
Denver, right.
This is from Denver, right. It says, 19-year-old died in a tent outside homeless youth nonprofit Urban Peak. Family wants answers from authority. Everybody called him a gentle giant, just a big teddy bear personality. Yeah. Xavier Wake died outside of Urban Peak on the 12th, 2023. Okay, go now. Okay. Xavier Wake, a 19-year-old, died in a tent less than a block away from the homeless youth shelter, Urban Peak, on February 12th. His sister, Quintacia Wake, spoke at a Friday morning press conference. She wanted answers from Urban Peak and the Denver Police Department. Mm-hmm. Both of whom have been unresponsive to her request. I don't know how the Denver Police Department's unresponsive. That's all they do is fucking drive around that fucking corner and move people and holler at them from their car. Every little while. How the fuck are they unresponsive? Further investigation.
Part of the permanent sweet spot.
The Office of the Medical Examiner confirmed Wake's death. Through his cause of death is still undetermined. An autopsy report has not been released. Quintacia believes Xavier died from the cold and added the drug paraphernalia was found inside his tent.
So they're planting drugs on him.
Pause right there. If this was his tent personally, just by himself, or if he they're visiting other people. You know what I mean? They automatically want to put it on somebody. Like they're automatically gonna say it was probably fentanyl, some shit. I bet you by the time I get through this, it's gonna say something like that. Whereas I'll pretty much say, black people really don't do fentanyl like that, smoke fentanyl like that. Very rare, like half, like not as many as you think. Okay. Anyway, Denver Police Department offered the following statement. We did respond on February 12, 2023, around 1:15 p.m. to the corner in the afternoon cut and the corner of 21st Street and California Streets on a possible overdose of a 19-year-old male. Quintasia said she had been bounced back and forth between police department investigation units and had struggled to find answers on how her brother died, status of the investigation. She was troubled of how long it took the family to be notified of his death in the afternoon of all things. There was really something wrong. Everybody called him a gentle giant, just a big teddy bear personality, Quintasia said. Even though he was 6 foot tall, he was still a very gentle person. Growing up, Wake attended Columbine Elementary, where he was bullied. His mother, Cynthia Brashears Wake, pulled him out of Columbine and sent him to Annunciation Catholic School, forgive me, and eventually Regis Jesuit High School, where he received a scholarship through Boys Hope. He played on the 303 Rugby Club. Excuse me.
Yeah, that used to be where Wyatt is.
Yeah, from with students from East High School. Xavier's mother, Cynthia, was a community organizer. She was also an alum and former board member of Emerge Colorado.
That's the same thing that Lisa's a part of.
A program that trains Democratic women to run for office. Cynthia died from terminal breast cancer in 2021. After Cynthia's death, Emerge set up a scholarship in her memory with the family. Scroll down.
So you know who's here? Lisa.
And the plot thickens. Okay. Says that. I'm sorry, I gotta get that out of my system. And all right. Sorry. My brother was not really involved in the streets a lot growing up, Quintasia said. I really don't know what happened. Xavier had previously accessed services at Urban Peak and its drop-in center, The Spot. The nonprofit CEO's Christina Carlson said in a statement, Quintasia had spoken daily with Xavier's caseworker at Urban Peak and had secured long-term treatment for him from the Stout Street Foundation, but the caseworker lost touch with Xavier. It's right on the corner. And Urban Peak staff said they had not seen him for weeks. He's right there. Literally. He was right there.
They're getting swept. They had a sweep over there.
But the Urban Peak kids the Urban Peak kids don't get swept like that. They're right there.
A permanent sweet spot.
Yeah, but they're right there.
That whole area is a permanent sweet spot, though.
Yeah, but they don't go anywhere. They only go right across the street or to the corner. They don't go anywhere. The Urban Peak kids don't go anywhere like that. They don't travel all over the fucking the area. They stay kind of local to that area. Now for a fact, like right there within like right across the street or right across from the clinic. But either way, the clinic's right there. All right, anyway. But Quintasia went to the area near Urban Peak where Xavier had last been seen and found him eating at a nearby table. Right there, right by the outside of the building, the day before he died. She went for a walk with him. He told her he was staying in a tent on the block, right there. She gave him keys to her apartment to warm up and take a shower. She encouraged him to reconnect with Urban Peak. The last time she saw him, he appeared to be going inside the nonprofit's building. Temperatures ranged between 28 and 43 degrees the day Xavier died. After receiving news Xavier's death, his family contacted the head of Emerge Colorado, Denver mayoral candidate Lisa Calderon, who had been Cynthia's friend, Calderon, who has experienced homelessness herself, hosted the Friday press conference and spoke about how Denver should reform its approach to reconnecting people with housing and treatment. This is not. In crafting her policy for addressing homelessness, Calderon consulted with both service providers and doctors, but also unhoused people. It's always an op, man. It's always an opportunity to go shine on some other shit. She was haunted by her late friend's son's death and the lack of attention it had received. It could have been prevented, she said. Goddamn right. This is exactly why we need to change that we do outreach, which right now is through a street enforcement team that is more about clearing people out rather than actually addressing them where they are. We said that. She also said that she wanted to see
addressing assessing.
Huh?
Not addressing assessing.
What did I say? Oh, Ceci. That was my fault. I was reading fast. She also said she. Thank you for correcting me. She also said she wanted to see people in Xavier's situation have access to more on the streets treatment options with an immediate path to housing. We know that homes do in fact save lives, Calderon said. Urban Peak is a youth homelessness service provider that has served people between 15 and 24 experiencing homelessness. The program offers hot meals, showers, laundry, case management for youth, sends outreach workers to encampments, runs shelter spaces, and offers a path towards permanent housing. Then what the fuck happened? But the organization has seen a spike in the number of youth experiencing homelessness, and keeping up with the demand is proving tough. I will debunk that. Since January, Urban Peak has served 513 youth. The nonprofit currently has access to 130 units of housing. The barrier to get people into housing are significant, Carlson said. We house people as quickly as we can by identifying appropriate housing options paired with supportive services. Barriers to housing, such as access to vital documents, income verification, paperwork, and affordable options, are just some of the challenges our youth and staff face. Of those, 513 were served since January 1st, 2023. We provide access to full coverage of service. Pause right there. They could put them in do like how they did with us when we had COVID. I didn't have no motherfucking paperwork, no ID, none of that shit. And they managed to put me somewhere. They put me in a fucking hotel that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get my shit together. And I'm a grown-ass adult. They helped me get it all together. They did everything. So what the fuck are they talking about? That's what I was talking to you about offline the other day when I was at your house about that little situation, that little idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would right there encompass this, right? Off, what I talked about privately with you, that whole little idea right there. Perfect. It was a perfect little setup for that. All right. Anyway, the young people we work with have experienced a level of trauma that is unimaginable. Say it ain't so, Carlson. And the current offerings the city has for addressing both the opioid crisis and the housing crisis are not enough. We are living through an epidemic that is devastating around fentanyl, but we are also seeing the impact of decades of lack of access to appropriate and affordable housing and supportive services. Pause right there. And when I was a little girl, when I was like 16 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to go back and forth to the Gill and whatnot. But this is a lie. They were able to give us wayward youth, right, shelter and jobs that led into housing.
Mm-hmm.
That actually put us in there. So, like my cousin, for example, the one that Breast Power, she had a job, right, at Taco John's and a motherfucking studio apartment on Pennsylvania, Colfax, and she was staying in the girls. We were all in like girl shelters and boy shelters, whatever, right? For us that were out in between the Gill and other things, right? As ward of the state, right? So, and that was way back when, Okay, I was 16, so what is that, 96?
Yeah.
But what the fuck you mean? We're in 2023. Everything should be easier.
Yeah, that was on
They
the
were
web.
able to do that.
That was on the web.
Yeah, but think about it.
Those programs.
Think about it though. If they were able to do that, and I was in 1996, I was a ward of the state in this state. They were able to do all that for this motherfucker roughneck. What the fuck has happened, right? So it's all an excuse to me. In my mind, it's an excuse and it's fucking just bullshit because I know better. I saw with my own eyes when I was just a young girl. They had to put me in. I had to go to go to my little schooling and stuff. I'm a ward of the state. Nobody was in charge of me. I'm a fucking the state was supposed to be in charge of me. I'm out in the world. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So can you imagine? There's these children, these teenagers. Excuse me, I was about to go off. These young people have a little bit more opportunity and a little bit more they got some stuff going on, and yet we're failing them.
Yeah,
what's really going on?
They don't have enough shelter room.
That's what they say though. I was going to the spot too.
Me too. I went to the spot and I graduated from Urban Peak in 2007.
I didn't graduate from Urban Peak. You see, you feel me though? Didn't you had like, I don't know what they gave the graduates over there, but I was there, off and on and stuff. It was bad. I know that they had programs because they were offered to me.
Yeah, I was in the youth transitional program.
That's how my cousin got her little studio apartment. She went through this whole program. She got an apartment, and a little job, and they even gave her a car.
Yeah, that's how I got mine. I didn't get a car, but I got a job and I got a studio.
Yeah, but you're different. You're younger. You're a little younger, right? I'm talking about like 96. That's what they was giving out over there at the spot. They had a whole little project, whole little transitional shit. So that's what I'm saying. So this is 1996, right? So if you managed to go through that at whatever age you went through or whatever year that was
10 years later.
There's no excuse for what the fuck is going on now.
That was 10 years later, though.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying, though? You still went through it. You still got it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is there's no fucking excuse right now for this to be happening to these young people. In fact, it should and listen to me. Just hear me out.
What they're saying is the population has increased so much that they don't have enough supply to meet the demand.
People have been running away from home forever, Jesse. Motherfuckers been running away from home, being out on the street forever. Population's gonna grow.
We've acquired over 200,000 more people.
Because you honestly believe that with knowing what we know when we're outside?
I'm just saying the population has increased.
I'm just saying to you.
It's not like we don't have the same population we did in 1996.
I'm saying when we're outside though, because listen to what I'm saying to you. When you're outside and you're using your eyes, do you see what the fuck they're talking about?
I see a lot more homeless youth. And the numbers don't reflect that. But I need you to finish reading this article, Lady Che.
Sure. All right. Let's see. Where was I at? I'm sorry. Before I took off on that tangent.
Also seeing the impacts.
Okay. All right. I apologize. Also seeing the impact of decades of lack of access to appropriate because affordable housing and supportive services. Finding enough apartments for people to live in is part of the challenge. In December, the organizations broke ground on $37 million shelter. The building will open 136 beds for youth up to 24 and include a mix of social and medical services and access to education and employment. I wish we could open it today, Carlson said. While it will help, it's still far from enough to house everybody in need. We feel pain and loss around the death of any youth who has had the connection to Urban Peak. Of course you do. Carlson noted in a statement, the crisis on our streets and for the people experiencing homelessness is palpable. Palpable. Is that how you say it? Palpable.
Yeah,
throughout our community. Thank you. Denver has seen youth homelessness rise over the past decade. Just a decade, huh? According to the Denver Metro Homeless Initiative 2022-2023 State of Homelessness Report, 27,860 individuals received social services tied to homelessness from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. The data takes into account Denver, Boulder, Arapahoe, Adams, Douglas, and Jefferson counties. In that same time frame, 7,334 people slept on the streets and outdoors. During last year's regional point in time count, 2,078 people were sleeping outside on January 24th, 2022. In 2022, 218 people experiencing homelessness died. According to data from the Office of the Medical Examiner in 2023, 21 have. Homeless, since 2023, since the start of 2023, 21 people died. Damn.
Yep.
We're only 2 months in. Homelessness has been a major issue for Denver Mayor Michael Hancock, whose administration has been bookended by the Great Recession and the pandemic during his 3 terms in office. He was a proponent of the urban camping ban, which gave police the ability to ticket and arrest people for sleeping outside. His administration has conducted massive sweeps of encampments in the name of public safety, even as critics like John Pravinsky, longtime head of Colorado Coalition of the Homeless, have said that moving the encampments around town makes it harder for outreach workers to offer ongoing care. Hancock has consistently argued people need to move from the streets inside, and shelter access has expanded during his time in office. Any loss of life, including those who pass outside, is a tragedy, Denver Mayor Michael Hancock wrote in Denverite in an email. That's why we work so hard to connect unsheltered residents with indoor solutions, especially during bitter cold weather like we've had over the past few days. Man, I had something really ugly to say too. All right, never mind. Okay. Is this it, or it's like one more, or are you just gonna show the video, or what are you doing?
The video.
It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick on there. You have the video, Jesse. Okay, either way, it's good. I could read it. It doesn't matter. Just how many more articles are there to read?
This is it.
All right, cool. You want me to read it for you, or no? What's up to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you scroll up to the title, please? Okay, meet the candidates running for Denver Mayor, Thomas Wolf.
Something else.
Okay, this is not it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it might be.
I think it's just talking about Thomas Wolf.
Yes, this is answers to questions.
Okay.
Okay. Set up for the video?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He says some clothes. A human right, a free meal. It's not working for people. How?
Look at that shit. And he had the audacity to pass those damn hoodies out to the Unhoused.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that.
A free meal. It's not working.
I'm glad when we had our little shirts, it's just us.
In town hall with Denver mayoral candidates. This is what folks were treated to in front of the Denver City and County building Monday night.
My belief is that no one in the city needs to be unhoused.
14 of the 17 people running for Denver mayor took questions from the audience
on housing and homeless issues, some of them unhoused themselves.
You would not think I was homeless. I don't carry myself that way. I've become empowered and better connected in my community.
The forum was organized by HAND, or House Key Action Network Denver. Jess Wiederholt explained why these candidates want votes from people experiencing homelessness.
It's about meeting the needs of community and hearing all the voices that are affected by their plans for the future of the city.
There is no more important battle than housing right now.
Candidates were presented with issues related to homelessness and stood for yes or set for no.
Do you support supervised injection sites, also known as overdose prevention sites? Please stand yes. Stay seated for no.
One issue brought up at the forum, funding public restrooms.
Terrence, Jesse, Renata, Chris.
Another major issue for this community, homeless encampments.
As mayor, will you stop sweeps of houseless people?
So toward the end of last year, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development reported 7,000 people experiencing homelessness in Denver on a random night last January. That stat, in fact, set a 14-year record. In studio, we're Helly Modest Fox 31. All right, Helly.
I don't understand why they couldn't just fucking highlight the fucking the best part. You were all over that. You were all over that place.
The white-owned media.
You were in the line. You were at the line. You were in the food line. You were all over.
But she's
Family, if you want to see videos, I uploaded some on the website of when Jesse was in the line. Jesse was all over that place. All over it. Talking to everybody.
Yeah, when I was with Dwayne Peterson. Read the title, please.
Read the what?
The title.
Denver mayoral candidates attend forum on homelessness. We're going to read it?
Yeah.
All right. For a recap, you could always watch the RVA because I covered it live. All right. Anyway, I streamed it. Shout out to Brother Jeff. I streamed it while he was streaming it. I have to say shout out to that because I caught fair use. Anyway, Denver. What is it? The Homeless Forum, right? Is that the name of the title?
Yes.
By whom?
It's articles from Fox News, and it's by.
Okay. All right. Denver, KDVR, housing and homelessness were at the forefront of a forum for candidates running for mayor. 14 of the 17 candidates actually showed up, answering questions from a crowd at Civic Center Park. Some of those asking questions were unhoused themselves. A small survey was taken among unhoused people, asking them what issues mattered most to them. Like restrooms, sweeps of encampments, and public housing were some topics the candidates were asked about Monday night. You would not think that I was homeless. I carry myself that way, Shay Kozak said, who was unhoused. I've become empowered. Is this the same thing that was spoken? The forum was organized by House Keys Action Network Denver, or HAND, formerly Denver Homeless Out Loud, streamed on the group's Facebook page. Jess Wiederholt explained that why the mayoral candidates want votes from people experiencing homelessness. It's about meeting the needs of the community, Wiederholt said, and hearing all the voices that are affected by their plans for the future of the city. There is more important battle than housing right now, because I said there's no more important battle. Candidates were presented with issues related to homelessness and stood for yes and sat for no. Toward the end of last year, the Department of Housing and Urban Development reported 7,000 people were experiencing homelessness in Denver. On a random night last January, the number was set a 14-year record. Okay, cool. That was basically the same thing they said.
Yeah.
All right. That was a rip. I'm just mad that they didn't want to fucking highlight the what happened there. Like, you showed up, you went off. You hear me? You said what you said. Like, God, that's important. What are we doing?
Apparently, there's footage from punk ass house keys.
In most of this footage, you can hear Jesse yelling from the sidelines. He was yelling the whole time. which by all means he should have disrupted that whole shit. I'm glad he did it. I was in the process of going through what I went through. As you can see, I watched the video, filmed it, streamed it.
All right, welcome community and welcome candidates. My name is Jess Wiederholt, and I am a member of Mutual Aid Monday.
Social housing developments and keep affordable housing by the city. You stand me yes? Thank you. Sorry, can you please stay stood, please? I'm gonna say your names. So I've seen Lisa,
Kelly
Thomas,
Brust and a representative.
Nada, Chris, Mike, Jim, Ian, Leslie.
Whoever the fuck that was. She didn't want to face the smoke.
Denise
Kwame
Mears.
was there to face the smoke. Aurelia wasn't there, but I don't know what he was doing.
For the last 10 years, showing up to every city council member.
Finally, this starts right here with you.
I believe that he should have the right to be here.
He is not on the ballot, and so
That
we
didn't matter. Make a point to say that.
We're in attendance for tonight. If they wish. I also support bringing Jesse up here. I support that.
I thought Jesse coming up here. You know, he chose me for whatever reason. Come on up here, Jesse. You should have got your signatures though, brother, but I still advocate for you. Instead of just talking. Now, instead of talking,
for a
you
whole
should actually be out here with the Unhoused, like I've been for damn near a decade. My name is Jesse Paris. Yeah, I didn't make the ballot, but I'm still running for mayor. Jesse, DenverMayor.com.
That's the least they can do is put you on their shit that they tokenize you all the time.
All these mugs that's been unhoused under the urban camping ban. I know firsthand what it's like to be told to move along to where you can't sit here, you can't be here. I'm the one that came along with the move along to where, you know what else I came up with? Unhoused neighbors. Y'all are unhoused, but you're still part of the community. That was my words, tangible. That's my words. That everything they're talking about, they want to do. I've already fought to repeal the urban camping ban. I've been on that. It's nothing new. Housing is a human right, and I coined it.
Thank you, Jesse. You have an open seat if you would like to sit, Jesse.
Sure, like you. Like who else wants to? That's my favorite part.
Has not shown up.
Anyway. Yeah. Anything else is shit after that.
Yes.
Froze
All right, we'll be moving on to the second question. Of the yes or no segment.
Like, you know, is it wrong to say I hope he fucking trips and, you know, fucks up his little lime green sweater? Trips and, like, you know, drags himself down a motherfucking alley at the east side just by, you know, by his sweater by accident, just hit magically. You know what I mean? Man, not wrong to say some, you know, some motherfuckers just need that magical motherfucking slap of motherfucking Ogun to fucking get some inspiration right. The motherfucker get slapped out of nowhere. Yeah, like just like a magical slap out of nowhere. Nobody was around. Just pow. Just like so stupid into it. That motherfucker's so stupid. Cause he had that audacity to fucking try to clown somebody too. Like he didn't want none of that. Like, oh my god, dude, then you gotta start clowning. Oh, motherfucking off-brand wannabe motherfucking pandering ass pimp, motherfucking Fraggle Rock socks, fucking old fucking weird ass fucking shape for it. Man, stop it, old fucking weird ass motherfucking fat ass fucking dude with a fucking control your kid and fucking how they kick people. You know what I mean? Over there, it's cold as shit. Act like daddy of the motherfucking year. Since when? How you be advocating for fucking domestic violence when you know you're a perpetrator at one point in time?
Yeah, that part.
You mean? All of a sudden. Come on now. Oh, fucking weird.
Well, he hasn't been invited to a lot of these.
Even if that was a rip, you're on the wrong side, homie. Even if that was a rip, you're on the wrong side. Could never be. Could never be. Oh, motherfucking snitching ass motherfucking. God. This is what we teach our children nowadays, huh? Yeah, there's children watching, right? There's children watching this shit. I have to think that they're gonna grow up and I want to be just like him, an old motherfucking tattling motherfucking crybaby ass motherfucking off brand, always in fear of my motherfucking safety, can't go nowhere because somebody may, and nobody does. Highlighting the whole fucking movie during campaign season. Not even that great. I can go on about all kind of docu-series that I just got an education on earlier this morning, and how that one was not that. Just the name of it wasn't even a rip. If it wasn't for the motherfucking director or producer or whatever, you wouldn't even got no motherfucking shine. And wasn't talking about the Jewish white dude. I got a whole education earlier. Anywho,
all of that madness.
Run my motherfucking money, cuz.
Right.
I apologize.
All that madness, and he still ain't getting invited.
Getting invited to what?
He didn't get invited to that realtor forum or the other forum they had this week.
He should have. Well, isn't that his job? You can see how they're not paying attention to him. Isn't he an inspector or some shit?
Yeah, he's a home inspector.
Right. He should have been invited to the conversation so he could detail the fucking facts. See? And you thought you were relevant, cuz? Apparently not.
Yeah,
you're talking shit. Why you talking shit? You thought you were relevant. You can't even get to the realtor fucking, the inspection motherfucking forum where that's all they're talking about.
And you're on the ballot?
Oh, you can't even show up for motherfucking city council and do the fucking zoning ones. I'm sure you'd have something to say if you were really, trying.
The only one that has signed up this whole campaign has been Ian and Trinidad Rodriguez.
Yeah, but that's different. Well, no, I'm talking about like normally. That's your cat. That's your section.
Oh, that's been my section for 8 years.
Yeah, that's you, man. You and the ADUs and the zoning. That's all you. Anyway, let's move along. What are we doing now?
We are ending the show. We're doing now.
Great. I'm like starving, family.
2:00 in the morning. All right, so thank y'all for tuning in. We had to catch up on last week. Hopefully we can do a show midweek so we can get y'all up to date on what's been happening this past week that we weren't able to cover this week.
March is going to be beautiful because Jesse got a whole bunch of things to do. We got a whole bunch of little forums and stuff. And working on the website today too. So they did a whole bunch of little videos and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty insightful. And the weather's supposed to be nice, so you're looking out for Lady J out in the world. Causing ruckus and shit, doing other stuff. Yeah. Jesse got the food bank tomorrow too. And support the campaign for the last little remaining piece. Right?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about the campaign?
It's crunch time. We're in the fourth quarter. With like 5 minutes left on the clock.
It's gonna be neat. I don't plan on it being quiet and easy for everybody. I don't intend on it to be that way. Ultimately, we know it's not meant to be easy for them. At least get some dispersions in some ways and stuff like that. Yeah, it can't just go the way everybody wants it to go without a little bit of disruption. Deary, or maybe a lot. Who knows? We'll see. It's early. It's only about to be the beginning of March. I'm excited. Just probably not, but I'm excited. The last little month, I mean, you see all this campaigning and donating and pretty duck dancing and all this shit going on with them. And I hope my dream is we're like the fucking horse in the race. The one all the way at the back, just been at the back of the race, the whole race, and it all came up on the side. Nobody expected it, and all of a sudden took the race.
Mm-hmm.
That's my vision for it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's not unheard of. I mean, somebody else did it, right? Right in another state.
Yeah, it's been done. It's been done.
No, just
Not a
recently.
city at this level though, but yeah.
Yeah, at this level,
We
white
got over
supremacy is probably not going to
700,000
let it do
people.
it. Yeah, but why should white supremacy get to have it easy?
Never know. Not on
Right.
our watch. So we'll keep y'all updated on the Denver's mayor's race. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Watch the RVA, fuckers. I'll be covering all kind of good shit.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. Yeah, make sure you check us out on our other platforms of Front Line Blacc News, The Revolutionary Agenda, and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. I guess Lady Tay is going to do an RBA tomorrow or today. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced will be Tuesday. I believe the topic is going to be the the Los Angeles sewer, i.e. the river, and been a hard week, Black family.
Very
So
hard week.
peace, love, light, reparations, and Black empowerment, and separations of Black empowerment.
Reparations, separations.
Yeah, reparations and separations. We're out. Oh, shout out to the viewer.
Oh, shout out, viewer. Little eyeball.
We're ending the show now. Peace.